universe time. Hey, they probably were doing that every single week during the first singularities at minimum just to get
Yeah.
supplies.
I think what's really annoying is because what were they popping on? Which ones were they popping on specifically?
It was
The
ruler,
main.
avenger, and alter ego, which the
Yeah. Okay.
alter ego makes sense. Hence, the avenger makes sense. The ruler does not.
So counterpoint, the other two still don't make sense because we were given access to those in the singularities
Uh,
directly
not
from
alter ego.
Lalaya.
Oh, so they just
Yeah.
straight up made an alter ego class
Moonspell
now?
Seraph. The Seraph event was during the singularities, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
it was after. It was between in the demi singularities, the four that were her Salem, Agartha. Fuck that place. That was the worst one. Shinjuku. It was in
No,
between
Shimosa
Shinjuku.
was Shimosa was the worst one. Agartha was the worst story.
Yes, I considered that more of a sin because I have nothing good or bad to say about it other than it sucked because I can't even remember what the hell went down beyond, hey, we had Ed, Shota, Fergus. That's it.
That's
That's the
incredibly
only thing.
cursed.
That's
Yeah,
the
Why
only
have you
thing I
cursed my
remember of that.
ears? You've disgraced my
But
ears with
yeah,
these
alter
words.
egos. Those came in between because I want to say it was in between 1 and 2 from there.
the problem
So,
is I
anyway,
have
in
track
funny
down a bunch of
news,
shit, but I don't know how. We don't
guess
care about your funny news, Nikki. We
guess
have
what we
fate
did,
code making
Max?
to do. I don't want to guess what you did. I want to figure out the timeline of these things.
So fine, take all the fun out of it. Why don't you?
I
Oh
fucking
yeah,
will. I'll
Art's
do it
just got
again
the
too.
source
You
code
should
leaked.
know better.
Re. Uh, so I convinced Sign
Oh no.
to write a Blue Archive story.
Oh God, he's never going to beat the allegations.
He's
Exactly.
speedrunning them, Gray.
Wait, he made the what story?
Blue
Blue Archive.
Archive. You know the cute and funny gotcha?
Sneaky, we call this entrapment. That's illegal.
Yes.
Well, don't you know the students are legal in Kivitos?
Oh no. Oh wait, what do you mean Stripe's source code was leaked?
Yep.
Oh no. That game just got cracked open for all new actual movesets.
What just got leaked?
Strive, Guilty Gear Strive.
Guilty
Oh,
Gear Strive's
rip.
like the stuff that's needed to just open it directly in the Unreal Editor has leaked.
All right then.
Holy shit.
I saw this. I'm like, where's Sneaky server? Because I remember y'all having being fans of
That's
Guilty Gear
crazy
1.
funny. And even better because they used Unreal Engine. Now you can just fucking bake it yourself. That's great.
Okay. Well, Gray, from what I'm seeing, I think you're right. I think it was during Arc 1.5 we got alter egos, but it doesn't change the fact that Avengers should not be in that list then.
Avengers.
To be fair, everything got worse when Avengers showed up.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. The first one was Dante's, and he took us through a nightmare tower.
No, our first Avenger was Sean Alter. Our first summonable Avenger was Dantes. Wait,
No,
wasn't
because
Angry
Jalter was
Mango
ruler to start
available?
with.
No, Jalter was not ruler.
Yes, she was in the game. She was ruler.
She was
During her
ruler?
first.
Oh, I thought she
Yes,
was Avenger.
She was
She
made
is
Avenger
Avenger.
as a
During
playable
her
servant, she
event,
was Avenger.
during her
Um,
event when she was summonable, which
mm,
was an entire
yes,
thing,
I'm aware. Yeah.
thing, she became an Avenger, because that
Oh.
was the way to summon her.
I
I
forgot
love
about
the
that.
I love the French. I love Jalter. You know why I love Jalter so much? Jalter is the death of fanfics. Every single
Like,
FGO story I've ever seen has died to Jalter.
you're not wrong. I remember reading one fic that was
What do
actually
you-
decently executed. It died at the French Singularity.
Every
Oh.
single fic I have read
Oh.
that didn't just go off the rails stupid has died at Jalter.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, that's because people are just like, guys, the story has to happen the same way. The only thing that should change is the interactions.
Well, see, that's the thing I was
People break down when they have this
Yeah.
realization eventually. And it's
Yeah,
like,
no, I
guys,
mean, that's what I was saying
could
last
still-
night with Blue Archive, in where every single Blue Archive story I've ever seen has always died like either at Abydos or mid Abydos, which is like the first fucking event. Well, not even event,
Yeah.
it's like story. But
It's the first chapter of the game that you
Yeah.
play through.
and everything always fucking dies there because basically everyone is trying to write this like golden perfect run storyline when they're doing Blue Archive, but the problem with Blue Archive is that you don't get the golden run the first time around. And
well, isn't Sensei already on the golden run, as it were?
Yes.
Like the
yes.
version you're playing is on the golden run.
Sensei is.
But we know he is not on his first run.
Yes.
No,
Sensei is.
he, as far as the story goes, this is his first and only run. There is no time looping, restarting shenanigans.
I mean, there was
At
that
least
whole.
No, because in that dream before,
Yeah.
it's implied that this is at least his second run.
I don't remember their. As far as I
Because-
know, outside of like that one scene, I guess there's been no ever reference that he's done this multiple times.
Well, we're not saying multiple times. We are
Well,
just saying more than once.
At
Well,
least
even
once.
just in general, I was under the impression the entire time this was like his first run.
Well,
effectively.
from what I was able to understand between talking with Oku and wiki diving myself is that the first run was actually where the president stuck around, and that basically got a guaranteed
Yeah, he was
bad
with
run.
the president.
And so that's why the
he was with
president isn't around this
because
time.
in the prologue, she mentions, "You told me what we needed to do. I ignored you, and yeah, it led to this, and it fucked everything up. So this time, I'm gonna let you handle it, and I'm just not gonna fucking be there."
Let's do the time warp again.
So she might have done a restart or something.
But yeah, anyway, so point being though
Somebody
is that what I'm
something
saying
something.
here is that because most people don't want to write a rehash of Blue Archive, most people when they're writing themselves as Sensei or X character as Sensei, they're trying to do this golden run using foreknowledge. And when they start trying to use foreknowledge, because a lot of shit that happens in Abydos, you know, has knockdown effects later on, you don't know that information, though, unless you're using meta-knowledge. So then the author tries to use the meta-knowledge to try and introduce the characters in such a way to make the information that's meta-knowledge turn into actual knowledge for the character so they can properly react to it, so they can head off at the past, the information that they should have acted on before when they were originally there so they could get the golden ending. Or the improved saved everyone ending. Air quotes, air quotes, air quotes. Because we all know how authors are when it comes to, I'm going to be the hero, which means I need to 100% complete and save everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's what happens is they get, like, mostly near done with Obidos, and they realize, oh shit, oh fuck, I can't fit the perfect run knowledge into the story. What do I do? And then they just kind of stop writing it. I have noticed it happen pretty much to every Blue Archive story at this point.
I mean, you could if you just went with, yeah, I played Blue Archive the game. I know the meta knowledge. My self-insert knows the meta knowledge. I'm just not gonna fucking pretend at this point, and I'm gonna full run it.
See, you could do that, but pretty much all of the stories I've seen, it's this like point of pride that it's their self-insert that's going to gallantly win the day, and not the meta knowledge.
I want to pretend like I didn't follow through the meta knowledge the entire
I want to
time.
pretend like I didn't read the wiki and the 12 steps to winning guide. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Which is why having Sensei fail and have to restart over and over and over would actually be kind of interesting as a story.
Well, also the fact that means more people will just pay you for more chapters.
Also that.
Yes. But yeah, so Sign is never going to beat the allegations.
And he never was.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
What allegations am I not beating today?
Well, all of them.
Yeah, just take a guess. Throw a dart.
just throw a dart at the wall, you know. But let's see, what other funny stuff can I talk about? What has happened between now and Tuesday? Let's see. Oh, I pulled a muscle on my back and it's been fucking killing me for the past 3 days, so I guess that's something.
Take ibuprofen.
Bro, I double dosed on fucking ibuprofen and Tylenol, and that shit did nothing because my body is resistant to pain meds.
Hooray!
Yay!
Well, that sucks to suck.
That's
Oh
not even
yeah,
funny.
Bethesda did post that. That is an official post from Bethesda.
Oh,
I
God.
hate it.
Wait. What do you...
What
What?
did they post?
Oh!
The thing that Phoenix posted, that's an
sounds
actual
confused.
Bethesda, yeah. It's an ASMR ad for Oblivion Remastered. You-
The Jason
No.
yeah.
This... I don't like how Uncanny Valley...
Yeah.
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
I am 8 minutes late because some people don't know what no means. What have I missed?
Don't worry about it. We just managed making fun of Sign for Blue Archive.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
All right.
you should always make fun of Blue Archive, but
And Sign.
Or as we're gonna be calling it soon, Money Printer. Heyo, let's go. Oh come on, not Inuyasha again. No,
Money
spin.
printer go burr.
man,
Yes!
2 weeks in a row I haven't gotten the Sign L. Damn it.
I know,
Sign,
Sign's
don't
been
you have
really good.
anything up
Tanya, let's go!
Hey, Sign, where do I find your commission?
Oh
bonuses
god.
again?
It's $10 per 1K, scaling upwards.
Oh, okay. Alright then.
It's 1
Fair
cent a
enough.
word, basically.
Oh, also,
I
I have a question for the Guilty Gear people here. I've seen a bunch of people saying that we're going to be getting Cyberpunk Edge Runners characters in Guilty Gear. Is that correct?
That's
That was
hilarious.
announced months ago. We're getting... For some reason, it's getting Lucy.
Ew.
Not Adam Smasher, not Main, not our main boy. No, Lucy.
Yeah,
Wait,
not
The one
even
I least
Rebecca?
want to see, not
The
the
cute
one
and
I
funny
least
one?
want to see in a fighting game.
The
Yeah.
hacker. We're
Lucy's
putting
Yeah,
the
the
black,
hacker.
That's why.
Yeah.
Like, no, but sign.
Yes.
They could be putting in Rebecca. They could be putting in Adam Smasher. They could be putting
With
in
the guns,
coked
yeah.
out cyber arm
Yep.
David.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
gonna do that.
I could have had fucking what's I could have had Cyber Psychosis main.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
You could have had Potemkin version 2 with David's giant arm rig.
No one wants another Potemkin. You shut your fucking mouth. How dare you?
I know just enough about the game to know that that was going to make him upset.
But yeah, so I mean, there's been a recent rash of Joe Senki stories on QQ, and they're all dog shit.
I blame L4.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
I
there's a
kind of
bunch
agree. Yeah,
people-
Actually, wait. Yeah, no, Lucy was announced like 9 or 10 months ago. Have they still not put her in the game?
no.
What the fuck?
Oh, Arxis.
Oh, we actually. Oh. Someone posted the first look at playable character stuff for her like 4 hours ago and then immediately deleted it for some reason.
Oh, that's why it popped up.
So, yeah, so I guess she finally dropped and.
And then in
That's not, like,
revenge, they stole the
guys,
source code.
Screenshots. Guys, those are just screenshots.
Anyway. So, yeah, there's been a rash of Tanya stories propping up on the space battles and questionable questing forums, and
Oh,
they're,
Sign,
they're
how's,
pretty much all
how's
dog
Tanya
shit.
Star Wars doing?
It's doing great. It's doing great. He's got lots of chapters.
Yeah, but
In
how's it doing?
fact,
Sign, what's the rank? Where's it sitting?
Number 26.
there. That's
on.
insane.
It is wild to me that the absolute dumbass crack idea I had is doing it now. Of course, part of that is due to the fact that Sign is a talented writer.
No, yeah, obviously. Well, and when we're keeping him from
When he
slamming
stops
his dick on the
writing with
keyboard.
yeah. That's the important part.
Hey, Sign, how do you feel about writing
Us
together, Sign?
valiantly holding a frothing Sign back from slamming his dick on the keyboard.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! The Star Wars themed Destiny 2 expansion is going to be fully canon.
My God! Did you guys fucking hear about that? Did Sign post about that for you?
So
Atin?
I guess
about
his
what?
You
views-
haven't heard about it. Did Sign send you any of the messages he was getting?
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So, some absolute fucking dickweed went and posted that it's not okay that Tanya is using the Force to assist her in casting spells, which are not spells, but actually inspirations of the spells that she used through the Force, with help from the Force, to find the Force artifacts that teach her more about the Force so she can get better at using the Force. He's upset over that.
Yes, that she's using in-story, in-universe elements.
Yeah, he's like, oh, she shouldn't be able
Yeah,
to
that-
cast spells with the Force because that's not canon. And it's like, well, she's not. She is asking the Force to help her cast something really similar using the Force.
I mean,
Like, we
There
can
are
do that because we
technically,
know for a fact.
quote-unquote, spells, quote unquote, in the Force.
Oh yeah, sure.
But
It's
everybody
just
who
the
casts
problem
a
is,
Dathomir.
spell is actually just a moron who's using the Force.
yeah, but the
Yeah.
issue I have with this, right, is that this complaint would be valid if it was anything else. If it was like, oh, I'm Tanya, I'm gonna go to the Dragon Age world, and I'm gonna try casting my Tanya spells in Dragon Age. Won't work. But this is Star Wars, where the mana system is sentient and wants to help you.
Or make you
Yeah.
worse.
So this complaint is nonsense.
You can help people in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Sign, I just want to make sure you're using like old expanded universe stuff, right? Like all the books that Disney quote unquote decanonized.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what we're
we're
using. We're
using a
using
lot of
Okay. So this complaint is nonsense
Yes.
because we have at some point
We've-
we have 3 people go on a journey to check out other Force users, and they learn, oh yeah, wow, there's a lot of bullshit the Force can help you with, and literally help you with. They find one tribe that teaches them how to do short-range quantum teleportation with the Force.
Yup.
There's a tribe that has learned how to time slip with the Force.
Well, it's not only that, right?
It's not that it's a complaint of like no one has figured it. It's like it's not that no one's figured it out. It's that the people who figured it out are sequestered away because the galaxy is massive.
Well, it's not only
The
that,
public
right?
wouldn't know what they're
His
looking at.
complaint here is precisely word for word. And the way she keeps stumbling across the things that she needs with Force aid. Yes, that is what the Force
Literally.
does!
Yeah,
Literally
if
what
you-
she asked it to do.
If unironically, if you know how to ask and listen, hey Force, I lost my car keys. Can you give me some help? It will lead you to them, without fail, every time.
Yes.
This is
It might-
unironic.
It might take you a while to get to the car keys, but it will get you to the darn car
Might take you on a
keys.
journey.
Then the question becomes why your car keys were halfway across the planet, but you know.
No,
That's
that's
on you.
for another time.
That's a good
But yeah, but
question,
it's
man.
just
What?
like
Why
again,
did I drop my car keys in the raccoon nest?
if this was like again anything else, if this was like her asking the Force for help, and then the Force is like, "Hey, have this unfound Giga Beskar deposit," I'd be like, "All right, yeah, he's got a point. That's kind of totally an asshole." But it's like, Force, I need help learning more about the Force, and the Force is like, "Hey, here's some artifacts that want to be found. Find them." It's like, you're getting mad about that? That's what you're gonna get mad about?
No one tell him about the existence of Abeloth.
Right?
Oh
It's
god,
just
don't even
like-
start on
Like a
Abeloth
what?
with this man.
Abeloth,
I didn't hear you mess
one
shit
of-
cut out. Abeloth.
yeah, Abeloth.
Oh, Abeloth, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, Abeloth
crazy-
was the
Crazy
end of
Eldritch Force. Eldritch Abomination. Don't tell him about that. He'll go ballistic. Because
Yeah.
something tells me he's not really a quote
I would say-
as he calls it, a legends kind of person.
the
Well-
thing that spent
He's a tourist.
decades
Yeah, well, obviously he's a
guiding
tourist.
Luke Skywalker. I want to be clear. Luke fucking Skywalker around by the nose to try and get him to free it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
it's like,
we finally get the reveal. And it's like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. And it's like, no, I'm not letting you out. I'm not. Do you think I'm stupid?
do you think
really?
so? Really?
Have
That
you-
was my favorite
have-
part.
have-
Was Luke?
have you not
Luke
been
was playing
watching me?
stupid the entire time.
But so then we get to the next half of this dipshit review. It's just, I hate it. Your Tanya changed over the course of 30 chapters. Her personality is different now.
Brother,
Yeah?
we
Just 30
explicitly
chapters, 30
we
chapters in
explicitly made
10
her an
years.
empath to
Yeah.
force that.
Well, it doesn't really. Okay, so sign. It doesn't really matter how much time passes theoretically in the air quotes. Really, it only depends on chapter length. You can use time passing in the story as an excuse, but people really only care about the number of chapters when it comes to what character's development. And that's what I'm saying, though. It's like. You've only been showing up for years, bro. I don't know how to break this to you.
10 years seems like a long enough time to change most people.
Well, it's not only that, right? This is Third Life Tanya. This isn't Second Life Tanya, who's still trying to make it back, who thinks that if she just does a good enough job on the front line, she'll finally reach her backline assignment. That Tanya literally was nuked.
Again?
Yep.
Yeah, in chapter 1.
Yeah.
I don't read signs work.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
I mean,
so
you should
anyway.
read this one.
Like, why is
Nukes will
he...
continue until morale improves.
True.
Is this the same review that Aura posted? Because I'm looking at that spoiler there, and I was like, Tanya did say that shit in her second life as well.
Yes, she literally said that in her
it.
second life. That's why I'm saying this dude's so fucking stupid. Because this is Third Life Tanya, who has already become a battle junkie, who has gotten high on meth, who has spent her formative years getting high on meth and going to fight things. This is not the same Tanya that was 8 years old in her second life trying to make it to the back line for a cushy assignment. It just isn't. And the fact of the matter is that Sign, every step of the way, has shown Tanya growing by degrees in a certain direction. So I'm blown away when people are like, oh, why did the character change?
Well, the thing is, it's not.
I don't know. Have you read the past 30 fucking chapters?
No, yeah, but that spoiler really weirds me out because Tanya did say like basically exactly that seemed like a patriot.
Yes.
So what? Has this person not seen Tanya or read Tanya into fanfiction?
Well, that's what we're saying is that these people are fucking tourists. That's why all of these new Tanya stories are so fucking dog shit. Because all the people coming to read them are fucking tourists. And then half of those people are getting inspired to go write their own Tanya story, but because they're such a fucking tourist, all they know is the fucking classic Tanya memes of office assignment, misunderstanding field, queen of misunderstanding Lamau.
It's even worse when they get it off the author
fucking L4
that have seen Tanya, but then only like a single part of Tanya, so they only write that and say that's entirely Tanya.
Yeah, well, man, that's just L4 in a nutshell.
They watch the anime and they think she's psychotic.
But like,
they watch the anime, they think she's psychotic. They read L4 stories, they think she's like some fucking misunderstanding queen. It's just.
Which is shit, because his stories do have, like, potential to be a good idea.
Not even slightly.
So,
I have yet to see an L4 story that I didn't want to beat the author to death for.
Are you sure that's not just because he's L4?
No, I'm pretty sure, like... Okay, look. So, let's take his first idea that we ever saw from him. Tanya in 30k as a Primarch. Fucking really?
No, that's shit. I'll give you that. That is absolute dog shit.
Alright, let's look at his second story. Tanya is the twin sister of Satine. Where do you go from there with that?
Yeah.
I
was more thinking...
Tanya is a Mando, basically.
Yeah, okay, but that's the problem, though, is that what is that story? It's okay, so she's a Mando, she's really good with guns, I guess, or something, and
I mean,
she shoots some people.
Not have legs.
I always thought the fucking Bleach crossover had potential, but then they kept introducing all these other fucking characters from Tanya's world that changed nothing.
I'm sorry, the Bleach... They wrote a Bleach story?
They did. Tanya as a Shinigami, and then they introduced Visha, and then a whole bunch of others from her unit showed up in Bleach as well.
That's...
Tanya, apparently, thanks to a magical... Similar to a magical nuke like Sign does, she ends up in Bleach, but then they changed it so that it created a crack in the world, making Tanya's world able to go into, when they die, go to Soul Society.
That's literally just a fucking rip from our story.
He posted it before your story, actually.
He posted it back in 2020?
Undying Scarab are you talking about?
No. And Hell came with her. We posted that back in 2020.
Alpha of the World.
Sneaky, you and Gray might be responsible for this one.
I know.
Fuck you.
Thank you, Gray.
I am not responsible for anything.
No, we have in fact held other authors to account for their terrible for them inspiring terrible things.
Where is it? Young Reaper's Afterlife 2021, so yes.
Ha-ha! We are responsible!
No. I refuse.
Refuse all you like.
But no, that's literally the plot of how Tanya and crew end up in Cancol. Is Kraken the world forms because of being X, and all of their souls leak through.
Oh, I didn't read, yours was, I didn't read Cancol, so I didn't read that story of your guys.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one. I think at least it's gonna be a good one.
It should be, if you ever get to it.
Yeah, well,
There's like 3 chapters ready for you.
Because the Bleach one did have potential when I was just reading about Tanya in there, but then he introduced all the actual Tanya characters.
Okay, but here's the problem. Here's the problem with Tanya Bleach.
Because the story got bogged down.
Right, but here's the problem with Tanya Bleach. Tanya brings nothing to the story.
Yeah.
Nothing that Tanya does changes anything.
Well, no, it's not even that. So the point of Bleach is a character arc of the Protector, Ichigo, in where he is kind of maligned from society, and he doesn't really know what to do. He's kind of drifting along at the start. He finds someone in danger, tries to help them, gets injured for it, dies for it. He gets better. And then basically everything from there is him trying to live up to the mantle of Protector that he has saddled himself with, and was kind of sort of manipulated by everyone around him into taking.
Yeah.
That's Bleach. What does Tanya add to the themings of that story?
She doesn't. You basically have to give her her own story within the Bleach world.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sorry, the Bleach
you can
world's
do.
fucking dog shit. It's like, I'm sorry,
But there's
but...
plenty of, the thing is, there's plenty of side content, and spin-off, and even filler you could do to give her her own story. That's the thing.
Sure, you could, but it's not interesting. Bleach, in of itself, if you remove Ichigo and main crew from Bleach, you have a very uninteresting world that didn't want to do anything. Like, oh, the Hollows are for some reason Spanish, question mark. Where do we go with that? Nothing. They just sit idly in a giant realm of spiritual energy and occasionally eat each other. Until they have to go be summoned mooks.
They sit in Spanish hell until it's time for them to do something.
No, according to the games, they regularly actually try and invade Soul Society with...
That is a game, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's a game, not the anime.
So that's stuff... I said side shit that you could add to make Tanya's story, so...
But even then, okay, so what? We're gonna have 100 chapters of Tanya punching some hollows when they open the Soul Society. Get like,
yeah,
character interactions, politics. You could do a bunch of shit though. It's
what politics?
There's a bunch of.
What politics exist?
The entire reason one of the characters betrayed Soul Society is because the games of the nobles killing his friend, and their politics.
Oh, okay, okay. See,
Yes.
right. Here's the thing, though, right?
In the sequel, the nobles literally cloned Ichigo to try and create their own fucking monster.
Yeah. Here's the problem, right? The politics in Bleach, the political factions and their meanderings and whatever the fuck else they do, all of that exists for the sole purpose of giving plot to Ichigo. Like it's not like a country structure that actually is supposed to work. It's literally just there to be like, oh, look at all these people, and they're evil, and they're doing machinations, and then they're killed and betrayed because they betrayed someone who then betrayed them, and they're all dead now, and they don't matter, but they were there, and they were evil. Like that's politics in Bleach.
Yeah, but you also learn about it's only in the filler shit, but you do learn about what some of the noble families do and what their duties are as well. That's the thing.
Sure, in the
Why
filler
talk
shit,
about
which
politics?
isn't canon.
But again, I'm not talking about just using canon. Why
Right.
Like, if you wanted to, why would you write just canon? Because they just follow canon. That's what I was talking about. You can write your own story with Tanya outside of canon.
Right, but you have to use a bunch of filler shit that... So this is what I'm getting to, is that people that come to Bleach for a Bleach story are going to be like, what the fuck is this shit? People that come
because you'll find a lot of them, if it's either OCs or not using Ichigo a lot, actually, in a lot of the Bleach fics I find.
Yeah, and they're all fucking dead. Yeah. It's fun to write one, because your character is exploring the world, but no one's fucking reading them. And that's what I'm saying, is it's just... Yes, is it good? Would it be good for a game? Sure. Would it be good where you're the main character? Sure. But is it an interesting story to read? It's like, okay, so Tanya shows up, clearly German, I guess. I mean, I guess Tanya showing up in Soul Society as Tanya will finally put to rest all of the debates over whether Tanya is the salaryman or Tanya. Because
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking you could even add a Quincy subplot with her being German. You could make them actually believe that the Quincy's aren't fully dead again.
But see, like, that's the other thing, right?
Because they could believe she's a Quincy soul if she shows up in a little girl form. And if not, if she shows up as Japanese salaryman, that's still Japanese. That's still a Japanese soul, so that's nothing special.
But Quincy don't. But Quincy don't go to Soul Society when they die.
Yeah, but the only one who knows that is the Captain Commander and the Squad Zero. Mayuri found remnants of Quincy's and actually brought them to Soul Society to experiment on.
Right.
So the Quincy souls can be in Soul Society, but usually
they can be in Soul Society, but they don't go to Soul Society when they die.
Yeah, but she would have to start out in the outer layers, so no one's gonna know if she was brought there or not. That's the thing.
Except you wouldn't just bring a Quincy to Soul Society and then just dump them in the outer layer. Like, anyone who knows what a Quincy is would have to intentionally bring them to Soul Society. Because the average Shinigami, if they see a soul wandering around, they're just going to kill it, aka purify it, aka send it to Soul Society. If they do that to a Quincy soul, it goes to your watch instead.
No, it actually goes to hell.
Or hell. Either way, she doesn't end up in Soul Society. Which means someone would have to see her go...
I'm trying to remember the sequel lore.
It doesn't matter! It's not Soul Society is the point. Which means someone would have to see her.
No, I'm trying to remember. Is it the Conso, whatever that they send souls on, sends it to hell? Or is it that fact that they got killed by Zanpakuto that sends it to hell? I'm trying to remember
that. It's the Zanpakuto. It's the getting killed by a Zanpakuto purifies your soul. That's It's like they can also do a ritual because, you know, the whole slaying a normal person kind of makes them feel bad. So there's a purification ritual they can do to send them to Soul Society, but also just killing them with the sword purifies the soul.
I want to see like the Shikamaru of Soul Reaper, who every time he gets sent on an assignment, he just stabs them in the head. Like everyone else is like, dude, you just killed them. He's like, it does the same thing. It takes so fucking long.
the ritual's an hour long.
They keep running away when I take my sword out of its sheath. This is just easier.
But yeah, so point being is to end up with everyone misunderstanding Tanya as a rogue Quincy in Soul Society. You would have to have someone encounter her while she's a soul outside of Soul Society. They would then have to somehow recognize her as a Quincy, despite her not being a Quincy, and Quincy being very recognizable, soul-wise.
Rukia had no idea. Rukia had no idea what a Quincy was, though. Literally, anyone who's
Rukia
under 200...
was a noob.
Anyone who's...
Right,
Rukia
but
was
that's
160 years old, fine.
That's new.
She was a noob, though, as far as Shinigami goes.
That's still new.
Yeah, but there's probably fucking bunch of Soul Reapers under even 200 years that would possibly send her on. That's a thing.
Right, that is what I'm saying.
And I'm trying to say, once she gets to Soul Society, the higher ups could mistake her as one, because she's already been sent through.
But no, that's what I'm saying. If she is sent through the normal way, she's not a Quincy. And anyone who knows what a Quincy is would know that.
If she is sent to Soul Society the normal way, she is not a Quincy. Also, the fact that she would be sent to somewhere
German soul ending up in Soul Society, then you have to deal with that whole fucking canon of, I guess everyone ends up in Soul Society or some dumb bullshit. It's just, there's a lot of contrivance going on to force Tanya, the German soul, into Bleach. It's just a lot of contrivance. I'm just saying.
It is too convoluted to attempt it and do it well. Any attempt to do it otherwise just makes it worse or annoying to read.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, then there's the Tanya Batarian story. That one's lame.
Well, I assume it's just Tanya as a Batarian?
Yeah, Tanya's a Batarian, but don't worry, her family's one of the good ones.
Well, I mean...
no. No.
Okay, I mean, we know for a fact that there are a bunch of them, but...
But, yeah, it's dumb. But,
Taylor was
yeah. Great, he needs to write more team piss. Taylor would be fun in Bleach.
As a hollow, yes. Not as a Shinigami.
Yeah, as a hollow, yeah, totally. I would read a Bleach Taylor hollow story.
There was one that I was reading, and it's fucking dead for years now. I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah, Ryugi.
Sorry, there was another one actually. There was a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A second Bleach hollow Taylor story is at the
boards, yes.
It's at the center.
And it's still dead for years.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, where do you really go? Because it's a cool idea. Don't get me wrong. She does make it work. Her power set methodology. It is all very flavored. But yeah, where do you go with it? Again, the problem is like Naruto, for example. Naruto, while a lot of the plot in Naruto exists to serve Naruto, the main character, there is a general conflict structure set up in Naruto outside of Naruto,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh yeah, the water village is genociding their blood people, and this village is kidnapping the blood people, and this village executed the blood people, and this village hates this village, and that village does this thing this village, and it's like there's actually like stuff going on, like, oh yeah, and here's the separatist monks, and here's this thing and that thing and these stuff and that stuff, and Naruto kind of touches on it.
Now
The world is alive
I
say,
wouldn't call it a lie.
the world
compared
More
to
people
had a
other
lot-
shonen.
I would say
Yeah.
compared to other
Fair.
shonen,
It's more filled in.
Yeah.
I will say
No.
they got more and more away from that the closer you get to Shippuden, as it becomes
Yes.
more and more about, which
Yeah.
I understand, but like I really would have preferred if we got more of like the actual ninja-ing.
We should
Yeah.
have. No, we actually should have, but then he got pushed by his editors, so that's why Chunin exams came. They were
Yeah.
actually supposed to go out with other teams and on missions and shit and actually meet them and be rivals. And then he got pushed by his editor to make it to get a tournament arc going, so the Chunin exams is what we got instead.
We need
Which
a
the Chunin
tournament
exams
arc.
fucking
Everyone does
great.
tournament arcs. Do a tournament arc.
Which
God, I
Chunin
fucking
exam-
hated it.
Editing was
Chunin
added.
exams are great, but they could have waited on those.
The
They
Yeah,
could have
yeah,
waited,
so
and we could have had more.
the ninja aspect was at its best in the wave arc,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
and then Chunin exams were great.
But that's when they started going more shonen, which you can definitely see.
Well,
in the dance
from what I
Mainly
remember
versus
in an
Gaara.
interview with Kishimoto for that, basically what it came down to is the reason why the wave arc was so standalone in its depiction of everything going on was that he was being rushed to make things go faster. But he was also being pushed to isolate character traits for characters. So like
Yeah,
Naruto
Sasuke
can't
had
be
to be the
this
cool
like
one.
super. Well, yeah, but also Naruto can't be clever because Shikamaru is supposed to be clever. Naruto can't
Not be a
track
bruiser tank
people and
because
be
that's
stealthy
Choji.
because can't be a tank because that's Choji. Can't be stealthy because that's this character. Can't be can't be good at tracking people because that's Kiba's thing. You can't
And
be.
Hinata's.
Yeah, it's just like Naruto as a greater, well-rounded character whose backstory actually fed into their ability to trick Jonin because they were doing that as a child because they had years of experience doing it. Was neutered because that would take away from the ability of other characters who were going to get a lot less screen time. So they had to basically neuter Naruto so when the other characters did show up, they could have their thing.
Which is incredibly dumb because you could have easily made it clear that, hey, look how cool Naruto is. He's the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And if you really need someone to have a super special niche, you could save that for something like, this is the Seal Master, this is the Medic Nin, right? The stuff that really you gotta put work into.
Which you did. You do see in Jiraiya and Tsunade. Except Jiraiya
I know,
only
but that's
used
my point.
sealing, like in pre-Naruto, Jiraiya used sealing like once to seal fucking Amaterasu, and that's still a fucking ball of scene though, to see what sealing can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like
And
that's
that's
just it.
all
Like
we got. It's so
you
annoying.
have that shit, so you could have used it, right? And here's the thing. If you wanted to lean heavily into this kid's really good at tracking, this kid's really good at stealth, you could, as long as you made it clear that this is because the children are children, right? With the exception being someone like Sasuke who has the magical cheat eye.
Well, no, that's the thing even though. Kakashi was the ninja of 1,000 jutsu or whatever, a copycat ninja. But before Zabuza copying his water dragon, we only saw him use like low level shit. How awesome would it have been if he was known for having all these strong jutsu, but he still became as strong as he did using mainly the weaker ones, except for his like Raikiri and Chidori and all that.
Sure.
Like that could have been something so that he could also pass those skills on to the children because they're weaker jutsu. So that we could actually see them using those skills that they learned from Kakashi.
Yeah, again, it's the main issue with Naruto is that they wanted the pacing to be
Is
fast.
that mine? You cut off halfway there. Was
so the main issue with Naruto is they wanted the pacing to be faster, and
Yeah.
so they had to cut out the ability for each character to be fleshed out, for each character to learn over time from their senseis various things, enduring the world, blah blah blah, and they just kind of had to just like fucking tournament arc now. Everyone dies. Where are you?
And that basically the moment that Naruto learned the Rasengan, they took away him being tricky in battle, except for like every once in a blue moon.
Pretty much.
Now it's just clones and Rasengan, and that's basically it.
Yep.
Well, Kakashi only focusing on Sasuke once he unlocked his Sharingan makes sense because he's the only other person with a Sharingan. Before that, he was trying to focus on teamwork, which they didn't have until Wave.
But point being, though, is with all this, is that Bleach, pretty much everything that happens in Bleach is for the sole purpose of Ichigo. Everything described to us in Bleach, like, we only learn about the exiled noble house because Ichigo's related to it, and not just because Ichigo's related to it, but because this exiled noble house is showing up specifically to help Ichigo in the exact moment that he needs help getting in to the Soul Society. And then we never hear from them again, effectively. But like, they don't exist in the plot if they can't help Ichigo in the moment. And that goes for pretty much everything in Bleach. Is that, oh, apparently, we just had fucking, like, even before Aizen, there was just hollows running around who unlocked their Zanpakuto. Toe. Because, you know, stuff and reasons, and they don't show up until Ichigo needs a higher tier enemy to fight. And then once he moves past them in power, I mean, they basically just kind of get turned into fodder.
Did Ichigo fight any natural Rancor that happened on their own? I thought that was basically just Stark, and he only fought the
he fought all the ones Aizen made, but I'm saying the Stark is proof that they exist normally without Aizen's interference, but they never show up in the story until Ichigo gets too strong to fight a normal hollow. Plot-wise. And so they get introduced as another mook of Aizen that Ichigo now has to struggle 10 episodes against to fight.
LeMay, Naruto got Ebisu because his problem was the basics, and Ebisu was one of the best Jonins on the basics. That's why he got Ebisu. Sakura wasn't in the training exam. She lost, so she didn't need that extra training as much as the others.
I mean, he still could have found her a teacher.
Yeah. Actually, he could have asked Kurenai for Genjutsu practice because... Oh, wait, no, Shino made it in. Fuck, never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking none of the team made it in, but one did.
I mean, that would have been a great time to start introducing some more Jonin into the fucking story. Because apparently, the ninja force of Konoha is in the thousands. But we only see, like, 7 of them.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that was the common fan theory that Sakura was going to get Kurenai as an extra teacher because excellent chakra control means that you can specialize in Genjutsu absurdly easily.
Yeah. But
that was part of Sakura's old ultimates before the Chunin exam was even halfway through in the games.
Yeah.
She has the Genjutsu, and the Genjutsu was literally her inner self.
Also showed up in the Snow movie. She actually beat her opponent using a Genjutsu with Sasuke's
That was so fucking funny. The fucking Ino versus Sakura, the special finisher for her.
Oh yeah, it's like, wait,
Wait, what was that
hold
one
up.
again?
What do you
Let me
mean
know
there's
when
a
you
second
find it.
U in there?
Which Ninja Storm game was this in again?
3.
Yeah, God, it's been a minute.
Sakura versus Ino special finisher.
But yeah, I mean, it's like Bleach is just so. Don't get me wrong, Bleach is great for if you're like Giordino and you can make a story interesting just by being Giordino. And authors like him. But generally speaking, it's really hard to make a story for Bleach interesting if you're writing as a non-Ichigo character. Because everything is just based around Ichigo, and it's not just the plot that's based around Ichigo. Literally, all of the events are based around Ichigo. Like, all of Aizen's plans are like, Ichigo needs to be this strong at this time to make this thing happen so that I can do this thing.
Yeah.
So it's literally all based around Ichigo. And so it's very frustrating to try and write alternative stuff. Because pretty much no one makes moves until Ichigo happens. And so, like,
Wait.
nothing...
I'm looking at an old Sakura Ultimate Jutsu thing. Did she use Kurenai's tree at one stage in a game?
Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to be a high level one? Fuck.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh,
Like I
there's
said,
no Sakura
Sakura was
one
supposed to
use in the
get...
movie.
Yeah, Sakura was originally supposed to get... Genjutsu shit.
Yeah?
But they kind of sidelined her for Sasuke and Naruto stuff.
The main characters.
Yep. Mm. But yeah, so anyway, Tanya and the amount of tourists that are flooding in. So everyone can mark off crosspost if you have it.
I don't.
Do I have crosspost? I have crosspost. Excellent. Let's go.
That is
Nope.
so incredibly rare, and I don't. Oh, I do have.
We got it last
Holy
week.
shit.
No, we got it last week as well. Fuck, this week's flying. Oh no, we got it on Wednesday. Or Tuesday for you guys.
Yeah, I was about to say. What podcast did you show up to?
I forgot that
The
I actually stayed
podcast that's
home.
on Wednesday, obviously.
For me, it's Wednesday. I forgot that I was sick. I was thinking it was Saturday for me, or your Friday again.
You see, Sneaky doesn't know this, but for 2 hours every Wednesday night, he actually loses consciousness completely
and then I
does
host the
another
podcast. Yeah.
With your alter ego, Chill Sneaky.
I'm always chill. No, what you talking about?
No, this is like blazed chill.
Ah.
I
Also,
think
I let that-
Sneaky would be far worse. I'm gonna be honest.
Also, I let that whatever us start talking about Yo saying so long because I was hoping for a sign out, but we never got that. Fuck.
We could give him a pseudo L, but I don't know if Sneaky would accept it. No.
Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. Whatever that was, shut the fuck up.
Wow, that seems a little rude.
I have no idea what that's in reference to at all.
I don't either. All I know is Kaz started talking and then I sneezed.
Oh.
A young Kaiserin's reluctant reign by the legendary Turd. Well, at least he's honest. Based on Jacob's setting. Of course it is! A young woman's political record. Honestly, credit to Jacob. But at the same time, Jacob is possibly one of the worst things to have ever happened to the Tanya fandom.
He's the reason we've got the Taurus in the Tanya fandom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is this a core all around situation of like
Yes.
you have
Yes.
irreparably damaged several
Yep.
aspects of
Yep.
fan theory?
Yes, that's what Jacob's done to Tanya.
And it's
Except they-
worse
except
because
rather than
he
saying
also
Tanya-
posts
In the
on.
well.
Not only that, it's actually worse than Core Alaran because unlike Core, he didn't make 9 million stories. But what he did do is he posted to space battles.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So,
But
a bunch of retarded tourist autists.
And the Taurus didn't stay in just Tanya either. They spread
Yeah.
out to the fucking crossovers.
Oh yeah, Worm's dead basically in terms of form posting. Yeah, Tanya's the new big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Not what I
I
expected.
should post to SB.
You should.
No.
No. His Star Wars and his
Oh yeah,
Outer Heaven
yeah.
story. Yeah, I think those will actually pan over well
Because you
in SB.
because you don't even if you plan to have any sex scenes, you can just do Fade to Black for the SB version. So
Pretty much. I mean, you'd have to fade to black some later chapters of Zuko, but he probably could get away with posting Zuko too.
Yeah.
you mean current chapters? I think he already did sort of sex scene with Zuko. and Toph.
29 was
I think so.
Yeah, something around there, yeah.
so.
I
Yeah,
missed when
29.
people were obsessed over Familiar of Zero. Yeah, Gray
No,
does
I
too.
The only thing I
care
miss
that
of that, the only thing I miss of that is the one-shot fix of Louise summoning different characters, because those were good.
Those were kind of funny, but I mean,
Actual stories, no.
the problem with Familiar of Zero was actually that it was, despite being so flexible in what you can summon, it was less flexible in the plot. Because again, the plot is just purely, this happens because that happened, because that happened, because that happened, because that happened.
The plot is a domino line.
The plot is pushed by the fact it's Louise. You can't, unless you do something like Tefania summoning someone, but then Tefania, there's no plot to that other than.
I wish we would get some High School of the Dead fix, bro.
No.
You will never get High School of the Dead fix. Not only are you not gonna get them because it's generic zombie dog shit, you're also not going to get them because the characters aren't interesting. You're also not going to get them because the plot wasn't interesting, and you're also not going to get them because it was Gooner bait, and it wasn't even good Gooner bait. It was just really
There
fan
is exactly
servicey
one
Gooner
memorable
bait.
thing about that entire show, and that's the sniper
The
rifle lube
boobs.
scene.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yep. Like it is so bog standard that anyone who's going to write about a zombie story has 900 better choices.
Yes.
And then on top of that, the author's dead, so, I mean, there's never going to be a conclusion to the story, so that means even less people are going to write for it.
Yeah. And unlike Berserk, you don't have another author who loves this High School of the Dead so much that they want to try and continue it in the author's memory.
And even if you did, like, listen, continuing another author's work is very, very hard. Like, you have to have 4 things for a work to continue beyond the author, right? If there's untold story, right? For untold story, I don't mean like another author comes along and starts doing their own thing, building off what's there, right? You need to have an author who loves that series.
Yes.
Right.
You need to have an author who loves that. I'm not finished. You need to have an author who loves that series, who is capable of using the correct voice, right? They need to be able to get 80% of the way to mimicking this author, and everything else will get kind of patched over by the reader brains.
Essentially, you need another author who's hyper autist about that series.
Yeah.
More or less.
3, there needs to be the financial demand to continue that.
Yeah.
Right? And last but not least, the most important one, the author needs to have left 6 million fucking notes.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Yeah,
They
had
need
to be
to-
notes.
There has to be, here's where the series was going, here's what I wanted to do, here's how I'm gonna end this thing.
Mhm. Which
All
VR
that
did
needs to
say
be
publish it.
there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not getting anything done.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to pick up where an author left off when they die, because there's so much that it's lost unwritten knowledge. And I mean, this doesn't just apply to just stories. This applies to engineering. This applies to programming. This applies to so much. Like that's why the whole commenting system even exists. Is for even programmers themselves when they're fucking writing shit. Half the time they think to themselves, "Oh, I don't need to comment what this does," and it's only maybe after years of
Comment it, motherfucker.
yeah, it's only after maybe years of going, fuck, what did I mean here? Do they start actually commenting, yeah, this part is the part that handles the function where this happens. And because it's just, there's a lot of knowledge that goes into a lot of things that people just assume, it's obvious that, that this is what needs to be done, so I don't need to write it down. Oh, it's obvious this is the resource you need to use. Oh, it's obvious this is the technique, this is the tool, this is the et cetera, et cetera. It's obvious this is where I was going with the plot, so I don't need to write down the plot structure. And there's so much lost, either to time, to death, to changing of environments that you just forget shit. It gets lost forever. I mean, that's why I can't pick up pretty much any of the old fics I previously wrote, because, I'm not in the same place I used to be, and I didn't write notes down for any of them, so I don't know where I'm going with them anymore.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things, like, the amount of stuff that you need to make a story continuation happen is so large. Like, the only reason that, as an example, Wheel of Time got finished is because Jordan died when he was writing, right? Book 9 was pretty much done, and Book 10 had 6 million pounds of notes. Now, that eventually was determined by both Sanderson and the publisher that there is way too much here. We need books 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah.
Right? But all of that was Sanderson taking the notes that already existed, talking a bunch with the original author's widow, who, obviously she wanted the story done, but she also wanted money, like, and of course, Sanderson had to be willing to write that, right? The whole reason that he was picked was because Sanderson and Jordan were talking, like they were associates, I guess it would be the way to say it, before Jordan passed, right? So he was picked to write the story.
Right,
Otherwise, it would have just been another story that just never got finished.
Yeah, I have to say, now, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this happened with Familiar Zero as well, in where the original author died, and then their apprentice, understudy, co-author, whatever the fuck it was, picked it up, and they were like, oh, we have to finish it somehow. And they kind of, brotherhooded the end, and not brotherhooded, Full Metal Alchemist thing, the ending up, where they're like, just fucking make something up. To just put an ending into it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was.
I believe so. And
I would say I don't know enough about
Louise.
Familiar Zero, but yeah, like that's why even though
Ending up
Familiar
in
Zero
Cycle
still
Girl.
remains like a pretty popular cult classic to this day.
Well,
Familiar
the
Zero
reason why
author died.
Familiar Zero
He did
was
like
so
right?
popular. He did
Yes.
die? Okay.
Yeah, he
The
died.
reason why Foz, I think it was heart attack or something, right? Heart cancer or something?
It was
Should've been-
earthquake, I thought. Wasn't it? Or
I
we
think
lost
it was
him around
medical.
that time.
Either way,
We have Google at our disposal. Anyone can look this up.
Yeah, no, totally.
Good.
Anyone can look it up, but
I'm
That's
busy
for
playing
suckers.
FGR.
Indeed. But yeah, anyway, point being though is that the reason why FOZ was kind of more of a cult classic that kind of died is that the character summoning made it unique. And I think it was kind of like one of the first stories to do that. Of just
It's
straight
at least
up
one of
just
the
being
first ones
like,
that I remember. Like,
yeah,
it's certainly one of the
Familiar-
first ones to get popular doing it.
Familiar of Zero and the original Studio Dean Fate Stay Night, and I mean, I think those are the only two that I can think of so far.
Well, no, because Fate Stay Night was different. Fate Stay Night was summoning heroes from air quotes history.
Yeah.
Familiar of Zero was straight up
Gotcha.
my isekai adventure, and it's because some mage
Yeah.
summoned me with a circle into their reality. Died of
Dire
cancer.
Intro.
There we go.
There have been older things that did the whole summon from another world,
Yeah.
but like it didn't really get popular, at
Yeah.
least as far as the Western audience is concerned, till things like Familiar of Zero. I think
Right.
Aura Battler Dunbine is one of the older instances of like summoned from Earth to another world to handle shit. But
Mm.
instead of just fantasy, you get fantasy mech. I
Mm.
need to watch that show at some point.
But yeah, point
he
being, though,
rushed the
is
ending
that
before he died, and then
they
I'm
rushed the
guessing his
ending. Yeah,
apprentice
that makes
fixed
sense.
it up, made it more like readable.
But yeah, anyway, point being though is that Familiar Zero had the whole character summoning thing, and that's what kind of made it a bigger hit on the forums because everyone and their mother was like, "Oh, but what if they summon this person? What if they summon that person?" And
What if
the problem,
what if I, with my special powers, was summoned? Like,
yeah, and it kind of became this like really difficult
The only other
balance.
if it was one of the first isekais, and the only other one I can think of is Digimon.
No, it was by far not even close to one of the first isekais, but it was one of the more
Really?
popular ones. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, no, the fan fiction aspect for Familiar Zero took on a more balancing act because if you summoned a character that was too powerful, your story kind of wrapped up pretty quickly, which isn't a terrible thing, but most people kind of wanted to make a production out of it, and it's kind of hard to make a production out of it if your character can just one-shot all the problems. And then some people tried to underpower the character that gets summoned, but I mean, ultimately, you're always going to be stronger than a bog standard Japanese weakling. So they still kind of ran into the problem of if they're not powerful enough, you're just retreading canon. If they're too powerful, you're obliterating canon, and the story ends. And so a lot of stories died because of that. Usually, if I'm remembering right, usually it's around, usually the golem fight. Usually the giant earth golem.
They get through the golem, and then it just dies because they have nothing to do except for retread the Albion War.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then they usually get to the Albion War, and they're like, oh, I can't really fix anything here. Yeah, and then they kind of, and they never.
The only way to really make Familiar Zero workable is to do your own thing, but still have those events happening.
The problem with that is Louise is always going to be dragged into those events, so you can't have Louise around if you don't want to get dragged into them.
My point was you still have those events happen, but because Louise isn't part of that section, or she's not drawn into it from her own plot line in canon, you're able to do something different and have it change slightly. It may not be the most amazing thing or difference, but it is different. Like Earth Scorpions, Overlord, or Familiar Zero.
I will say the Familiar Zero landscape world definitely does lead itself to being very easily filled in by a enterprising author who wants to add depth to the world. Because much like Naruto, without the superpowered ninjas running around, the world was set up in such a way that it was easy to fill in details of how the nations operated, how cultures might have operated, you know, general gist of things like that, right?
Mm.
So it was fodder for the enterprising author, but at the same time, unless you were willing to put in a lot of work to effectively flesh out the world yourself,
You had nothing.
there was not much to do besides retread canon. So, while it was popular with fanfiction authors, it was more popular for the one-shot ideas, or what ultimately became one-shot ideas, of summoning X character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the most well-known one, I would say, for the one-shots might be the Iroh one.
I've
I remember
never
that
heard
got
of
very
it.
popular. Really?
I have never heard.
Yeah, Iroh from Avatar got summoned by Louise. It was only a one-shot, or was it a one-shot?
Never
Was it
heard
like
of that.
5 chapters? Damn. Because I remember that got very popular.
Apparently in different circles from the ones we run. Not into.
Yeah, Drew. So actually, this story gets even worse than I thought. The young Kaiserin's reluctant reign. It not only is it inspired by Jacob, it's also inspired
no.
by the Cold War fanfic by Embrace. I've never
Aw.
heard of that one. So,
I have.
uh,
Worse than political record, but it's a time waster, I'd say. But it's got a lot of fans.
amazing. Yeah, that sounds about
It-
average. This
what
is
I
supposed to be a
recall-
lighthearted, semi-serious fanfic with the goal of answering what if she accidentally became the Kaiser. I hate it
Well,
already.
what do you think would happen?
Yeah, right. So anyway, the author has posted this starting on April 24th, so I assume they're just mass posting all of their old chapters. And in true dipshittery fashion, they kind of just blitzed posting the cross post. And in the span of the past 2 weeks have posted all 32 chapters of their story, which means that in a section like
That's a bad
Tanya
idea.
where yeah,
They're-
in a section like Tanya where effectively the front page is the front page for weeks, they have burned through their entire backlog. And now they have only 34 favorites and 8 reviews, which I'm sure if we click on the reviews here, we will be instantly
more.
greeted by a horde of, oh wow, and it's not AI.
Yeah, but how much are bots?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh. Oh.
Divine FBI shows up. Anything
Well, that's
inspired by a young woman's political record is always a good story.
Oh God.
A well-rounded story with good characters. I'm sure they are.
If Tanya doesn't immediately
Decks
go
to
to war
doubt.
against, if Tanya doesn't go to war against the communists, I'm gonna call out of character.
After the Second Great War,
Yep.
Tanya thought her retirement was imminent. Okay, so we're just gonna jump straight to Germany 1. Okay. I can see why he's saying you have to know what young woman's political record is first, I guess. For the last 2 years, and she can resign as chancellor peacefully. Okay, yeah, so we're just straight up
After young record,
lifting young woman's political record wholesale as the background plot. Okay.
Mm.
That's great.
What it sounds like.
I so
Well-
love having to read
what-
another fanfic before I can read another fanfic.
Oh my
Not
God.
even by the same person.
Not even by the same person, yeah.
Jesus.
Little did she expect that being X would break his decade-long silence just to screw her over. So here's the problem, right? if this is based off of manga Tanya, Being X pretty much stays silent. If this is, like, the only time Being X is an active antagonist is the anime version.
Otherwise, he takes a
Yeah.
supporting antagonist by
Yeah.
giving her trials through other people.
Yeah.
And specifically, that's mostly just Mary.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's a monarchist movement? Why does this country still want to be annexed by Germania? What do you... Huh?
So the
What happened with-
Empire is their actual name in the source.
Yeah, I know.
In political, they got turned into
No, they
Germania.
are called Germany in the source.
No, they're
But
not.
a lot
No,
of
they're
people really
not.
try to
No,
corrupt
Sign.
it into
No,
They
They
Germany.
are
do
not.
they're
use
just the
any
Empire.
of the
They are
real world names.
explicitly referred to as the German Empire
No, they're not, Sign.
in
They are
the light
not.
novel.
They are
In
not,
the light
Sign.
novel, maybe I would have to actually look at my books. But in the manga and anime, they are the Empire and only the Empire.
And in the light novel, they're referred to as the Unified German Empire, or the Reich, or Germany. They use a lot of different things to refer to them.
I'm going to get this fucking book.
Yeah,
Look, I fought with him on it before.
they
He
call
uses
it-
Germany all the time.
I would say, I'll be clear. They certainly call it the Empire and the Reich, but they do not say Germany. The Empire, also referred to as the Fatherland or the Reich, is a powerful centralized militaristic nation situated in the heart of continents, heavily inspired by Imperial Germany. Like, no one's going to argue that it's heavily inspired by Germany. Obviously, it wears that on the fucking sleeve and runs around with a signboard saying it. But they're not called Germany. That's the thing that I don't know where you've ever gotten this sign. I have the light novels. At no point in the light novels do they call them any of the real world names. They'll come very, 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 very close. Like the United States is the Unified States. No points for guessing what that one is, kids. But
France is Francois.
But it's not
Francois.
the thing,
Francois.
right? It's not the thing.
Is
Right,
this a
like, I
sign
can't
out?
Look,
stress that enough. It's not the thing.
I've fought with him about this before. It's just, it wasn't worth my time.
But- Yeah, but Atin and possibly Gray going to get the books is proving him wrong. So is this a sign L for the bingo?
If they prove him wrong.
First fucking page of chapter 1. In. The border between the Empire and the Entente Alliance.
Okay, yeah, that was never in doubt.
Demands of the Empire's geopolitical position on the next page. There's never anything else in this first chapter that says Germanian, German, or whatever in front of Empire.
Yeah, so I think this is the case here, and this is why I gave up, is that it never officially gives a regional name to the people besides calling them the Empire. And obviously, you can't just call the people the Empirees.
They call them Imperials.
Yeah.
That's it.
Imperials.
Yeah.
We tolerate it in Skyrim, Sneaky.
Yes, I'm aware, but this has a real world equivalent, and so that's why after I wasn't able to find anything that disproves that you couldn't call them Germans, I gave up
like,
fighting
that's
him on it.
But it's like people from the
Germania.
Unified State. They don't have anything for people for the Unified States. They're just
I'm
from the
aware.
Unified States.
That's what I'm saying, is that we call them from the Empire and they're referred to as Imperials, but there's nothing there saying they wouldn't be called Germans because they weren't always the Empire. They had to have a people before that. Like, yes, even though it was the British Empire, it's still the Anglo-Saxon people.
I've only ever heard it called Empire and Fatherland.
Sure, and I
But
get what you're saying there, Sneaky.
and that's
But
what I'm
it
saying.
doesn't
It's like,
change the fact that Sign's wrong.
he's not wrong. He's right adjacent.
No, he's wrong. He's saying they're called the Germans. They are not. Nowhere in the books are they
Like I
called
said,
Germans.
he's right adjacent. He's not correct, but he is also not incorrect in calling them Germans. Now, he's wrong in claiming that the book calls them Germans, which is why he's right. But he's not wrong in calling them Germans because they're technically.
I
It's
have no
never
issues with that.
Yes.
said any other way.
I have issues with the claiming that
Yes,
they are the
well,
German Empire from the light novel.
that is just a classic Sign L, so you can all have
Yes.
that. But like, is the reason why Sign's so silent right now is because he's rapidly hunting down that one post that proves his point?
Possibly.
I mean,
Possibly.
we've all done that to try and
Oh,
prove
yep,
ourselves
here we
right.
go.
Here comes a post.
Here comes the post. Point being, anyway, I'm pretty sure Germania is just a fanfiction spin-off. Network's dog shit. Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Ever since
Netflix. I'm pretty sure
out which of your
Germania
siblings is
is
quarantining
just
himself.
a. Well, he doesn't have siblings. He has parents who Netflix everything. Over Wi-Fi to boot. I'm pretty sure the Germania name is a fan fiction response to the common fictional
likely.
name for Germany in a lot of stories, so people just kind of
Yeah.
used Germania.
I always thought Germania came from Familiar of Zero because we got like bits and pieces that it was similar to Germany.
So,
and then
the reason for that is more along the lines of it's the old Latin because hey, you
Yeah.
have Albion and the Albish.
Oh,
Albion
yeah.
was the old Roman name for the British Isles. So you have Germania.
Yeah, so Germania
That's
was the
basic.
original name of the Roman province of Germany.
Yes.
And that's what we called it in Older English, is Germania. So that's why. But anyway, I'm not sure what does it mean that this country still wants to be annexed by Germania. So this is why I'm getting confused, and this is why I hate needing to read someone else's story so I can read your story. Why is the Empire trying to get annexed by Germania? I thought they were the same thing. Apparently not in this one. We're just going to introduce new countries, apparently.
So the basics from what I remember from reading that thing is Germania, or the Empire lost, got torn into multiple different countries
Okay.
in the various areas. Like there's Germania, which is the main German. There's
Right.
Austria, there's the Lowlands.
Right.
I want to say there's also Poland, but I could be wrong on that. But point being, there's a whole bunch of countries that were formed out of the Empire into their quote more modern day.
Right.
And basically, they pulled an Anschluss, except for it was entirely wanted by the Austrian because they want to be back with the Empire.
Right.
Because they still remember we're imperial.
Right. Yeah, so so this is what always kind of threw me really hard when it came to the Tanya story for Jacob is after the Second Great War, there wasn't a first one. The war Tanya is in is the first Great War.
So at the very end, there's also a second one. So it's basically just a direct continuation.
No, I thought it was a ceasefire, and then they continued fighting
Yeah.
the first one. I didn't think it was they stopped at all the
Nope.
first one. They didn't have any.
The first one ended, and that's what caused is the empire to be fractured into multiple different countries.
Oh, and
Is
Jacob's story.
in Jacob's
Oh,
story,
yeah.
because
Oh.
this is a direct continuation
right,
from
okay.
political
Right.
record.
Right,
Right.
okay. Anyway, point being, though, is that I never really understood that in Jacob's story, where Tanya, known war criminal with a bounty on her head, just managed to walk free somehow.
Pretty much.
After 2 wars of her being in them and presumably committing massive amounts of war crimes. And yet she somehow manages to walk free. That's kind of always really really broken my disbelief on it.
Yeah.
But then on top of that is somehow the monarchist movement selects Tanya to be their monarch, which
I mean,
I
it's entirely-
assume the only way that happens is if she's magically found to be related to the ruling family.
Yeah, like a bastard or something that she ended up in the
Like
orphanage.
Oblivion
Either-
style.
Yeah, either that, or after literally all the royal family's dead, they decide to choose a new one, and Tanya is technically a noble as a Von, so...
Yes, but the
But
difference...
that still makes no sense, because there's still probably better choices, that's the thing.
Well, it's not even better choices. So, with monarchies, I'm gonna say a decent vast majority of monarchies use the theory of divine ordainment to support the fact that they are a monarchy. The reason why this one person has more power than everyone else is because God said so. So, sure, you could have Being X directly intervening and being like, hey, priests, make her king. But that would be kind of cringe, in my opinion. The only way I could really see that one panning out is if Being X was like, ha ha ha, fuck you, atheist. I'm going to give you exactly what you want. I'm going to give you the most backseat assignment possible. You're king now. Eat shit and die. Like, that's the only way I can see that one going through. Because generally, Being X wants Tanya to suffer in the anime. Being X generally just wants Tanya to go through trials in the manga. And for the light novel, as far as I'm aware, Being X doesn't give a shit about Tanya after he reincarnates her. So, I just really don't see her somehow being chosen by the monarchist movement to lead the country. But anyway, yeah, based on someone else's fanfic, how did we accidentally get into a Cold War? What do you mean accidentally? Cold Wars are pretty much entirely intentional.
Yeah, it's when Group A looks at Group B and says, I hate your goddamn guts, but it's not safe for me to kill you yet.
Well, I mean, it's less not safe, so the whole reason why the Cold War even happened is because both sides now had nukes, and they knew that in a actual war scenario, those nukes would be deployed, and so neither side really wanted to see what would happen if they actually had to deploy the nukes. Because if they didn't deploy the nukes, then that would be seen as, like, a weakness by everyone. It's like, oh, no, I have a gun! I'll shoot it! I'll definitely shoot it! I know you're breaking into my house! Don't shoot it! I know you're killing my wife, but I'll definitely shoot you!
No, Sneaky, I get it, but right, there are other points in history when nations, like, right, there are plenty of periods in the history of not just Germany,
sure, but
Europe,
in those
when
periods
all the sides
of history,
were looking at each other like, who's gonna start it? Because I don't feel like starting it. I'll finish it, but I'm not gonna start it.
Right,
because
but that was because of population issues. Right, that was because they didn't have the populations to lose. because they needed those populations to work the fields. And so and on top of that, Cold War is war by proxy, in where you and the country you're fighting aren't actually fighting each other, but your soldiers and his soldiers both just so happen to show up to give swords, resources, guns, bombs, whatever, to another section of the map that is in fact fighting, and you're each supporting one side of that fight. And that's what a Cold War generally is you are warring, but you aren't actually fighting each other technically. And I mean, so it might have happened in limited degrees before the Cold War, but the logistics issues probably remanded it more to a more local skirmish conflict sort of thing, rather than in this random spot on the map we're going to have this country split in half and fight itself. Because I mean, there's plenty in history where it's like, you know, country A hates country B, and some soldiers from country A just happened to end up in country B's territory and just happened to fight some of country B's people, and then they ran back, and country A was like, oh, whoops, we told them to go right, they went left.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Remember, a lot of the deployments made during the Cold War, there was nothing subtle about it. It was
Oh, I never said subtle.
But Sneaky, it wasn't even a possible deniable bit of subterfuge.
Oh,
like,
no,
there were
I never
plenty
said
of
that.
times when the United States explicitly said, we are sending troops from X place to Y place because fuck them commies.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is it was explicitly not Russia and Soviet Russia and the United States shooting each other. It was, oh, we just happen to be in the same area, guys, on purpose. And I guess we're just shooting at each other, but it's not a hot war. We're not actually fighting yet, guys. We just both happen to be in the same area on purpose. You know, it's a bit different in its declaration of intent, where neither side is technically committing to it.
But I mean, that's just it. There were times, right, like Korea, for example.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Right, our troops were explicitly there because the communist troops. There was no oops about it.
Like, right, but it's still it was still framed. Both sides effectively agreed. Like, both the U.S. and Soviet Russia were like, yeah, I know we're fighting here, but that doesn't mean we're really fighting. So you don't shoot bombs at me and I don't shoot bombs at you. We're just going to shoot bombs at each other in this other place that neither of us actually own. And we're just going to pretend.
I kind of see what you're saying, but we're just going to move on because either way, the point is, yes, if that's the definition we're using, then yes, there was, right, maybe a couple of points in like colonial history where
Kaz, read for me.
Oh, God.
Right, there was a couple points in like colonial history where Group A would deploy their soldiers and coincidentally fight Group B, but not frequently.
Doesn't matter.
Resign as Chancellor peacefully. Where was he up to? Fuck. Want to be annexed by Germany. Accidentally get into a Cold War. Got it. 15th of May, 1942. The main avenue of Bern leading to Alexanderplatz laid witness to the grandest victory parade in Germanian history. Over 200,000 soldiers marched in perfect sync. accompanied by hundreds of tanks, military trucks, and towed artillery guns. The sky, too, was not left bare. Full stop. Flying overhead, the parade were hundreds of planes, their colourful trails dyeing the firmament in the black, red, and yellow of the Germanian flag. What was the flag black, red, and yellow in Tanya? At a lower altitude, majors positioned themselves to form letters in the sky, spelling out Sieg for das Vaterland as they zoomed ahead. Victory to the fatherland. This is shit. Yada yada yada. Parade with warriors, flowers, confetti. Young woman leaning out of windows. Flop wolf movie. Lurgan in a car. I stood behind a speaking podium on my raised platform, watching General Lurgan's. Fuck. This misunderstanding field because Lurgan, being pale and trembling when looking at Tanya, is apparently sick and has stage fright. This is just shit. Written sort of well, no bad grammar, but Citizens of
doesn't.
Germania. No, it doesn't. It doesn't hook you. It doesn't hook you. Alright. As soon as the last general positioned himself, I cleared my voice while projecting with a communication spell, the longest ranged one I've ever casted. Wouldn't that just be cast? Anyway, everyone's attention was wrapped upon me, the noise level quickly dampening. Citizens of Germania! Today, we celebrate a monumental achievement. The fatherland has reclaimed its glory, prestige, and honor by securing victory against bitter enemies. We humbled our old nemesis, the Francois. To the south, we dethroned a despot in Ildoa. To the east, we routed Yugoslavia and vanquished the endless tide of the Rossi Federation. Wherever our enemies were, we crushed them. None of this could have been possible without the blood, sweat, and tears of every single one of you. A massive cheer rang out, almost enough to deafen me. Remind the populace of our crushing victory and then emphasize the importance of collective effort to stoke national pride. Yada yada. Hoping to remind
There's
war
just
maniacs
nothing original or interesting here. The
No.
author has
hoping to remind war
possibly-
maniacs like Lurgan that we already defeated everyone willing to fight us, so should calm down and avoid seeking out enemies. So again, misunderstanding field.
Okay, look, I don't even know what to say. Like, they've sort of got Tanya's inner voice, but look, I don't know enough about the original fan fiction to say how this is going.
It's worse.
Relative to what
the original, what the Tanya's voice would have been, but this is just not. None of this is interesting to me. Like,
This is just generic war movie slop with a bit of Tanya misunderstanding field thrown in, and that's it.
Yeah, like this is not grabbing me, and this is coming from a man who
This
paid
is
somebody
not
to write
Tanya.
a Tanya fan
No.
fiction.
No,
Like,
this isn't. Speech. She's doing a speech. She's waiting for cheers. No sound came. There was absolutely no movement at all. Time has stopped. This could only mean one thing. Being X. Thunderous voice came from behind me, coming from Logan's mouth. Gay, he's not a man. A voice I recognized all too well. Inspiring speech, former unbeliever. I don't think I ever declared my faith to you. Oh, but you did, don't you remember? When you prayed to me for help against poor Mary Sue. That was a genuine prayer with actual faith that I would save your life. In fact, it was even more faith than what Mary held in that moment. I doubt that. Which was why her blessings went to you. My goal to convert you into a believer was accomplished. That's why I've left you alone since then. Even if you continue to deny it, the seed of faith has already been planted. That was it. A single moment of faith made in mortal desperation. Being X's standards must be low if that was enough to consider me an actual believer despite my slandering. His name every moment possible since then. Furthermore, I don't trust us for a second. He didn't have a role with interfering in my life since my battle with Mary Sue. It's 100% due to his intervention. I'm still stuck being the Chancellor of Germania and having to deal with the Second Great War. I feel this is an anime only. This is an anime only person because I think she only really blamed Being X for everything in the anime, didn't she?
Most of the stuff that was out of her control or her stuff that led to bad was related to Being X because he
Ah.
kept showing up at random points.
Yeah, in the anime, but in the manga and light
the other-
novel, I'm pretty sure she blamed shit like
Nope.
the generals and stuff, didn't she?
She mostly blamed it on humans in the manga.
Yeah.
I've not gone too far in the light novel. Oh,
Mm.
as much. But in the manga, the only time that Being X, or rather, or the gods that are Being X in this, is actually interfere is to give the blessings to Mary, and that's it.
Alright, so, yeah, sorry about that.
It's shit.
Oh, good. If
Every
misspaced
time
nothing.
that Tanya uses the Type 95, that's what happens. Like, Being X explicitly gives additional power because she is using the Type 95 and going, oh God, give me the power to blow these people up.
Yeah, you've missed nothing. It's been weird misunderstanding fields that don't make sense with generic war movie slop. And also, I seem to have gotten that this guy's an anime only watcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because BNX has just shown up, and now apparently he's surprised because he's getting faith from everyone else who's praying to him to strike down Tanya. God save, blessed Jugurachef, God save Chancellor. Being X. I shall appoint a moral representative on this plane, even more blessed than Mary Sue. They shall wield great power, and their actions will shake the world. An expert in military matters, politics, finance, and governance. A soldier, mage, politician, monarch, and saint all in one. My blessed will perform miracles never seen before and lead the masses back to the faith. Upon seeing one so blessed by me, mortals will have no choice but to believe in the divine. Tanya, who would this blessed be? Someone closer than you might think. And then he left. And then she's raging that she has no idea who it could be or how close they could be. Not realizing he was talking about her.
She would understand that he's talking about her, so
She's
this
not
person does not.
stupid.
And if
Can we
Sneaky wants
just
to
move
lead
on?
off, it's at same day, 7 p.m. General Staff Dining Hall. But I'm not reading any more of this shit.
Hey, look at that. We're all sick of this.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
goddamn, I'm just scrolling through here.
Like I said, generic war movie slop with weird, badly understood anime Tanya thrown in. That's it.
Wait, no, hold on. This blessed person be literally in their time freeze earlier in this chapter. Being X literally says, "My blessings to her went to you."
Oh, right, because she prayed so hard. Yeah, and Tanya
Yeah.
didn't get that. And now in chapter 2, they've brought in actual Serbia and Bulgaria because Yugoslavia has been split into two. Not some weird off-brand name of it.
Okay.
Bosnia, Herzegovina, Montenegro, Bulgaria, Baltic, Belarusia, Grand Commonwealth, not Belarusi. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Russia. Yeah, they're Azerbaijan. Yeah, they're fucking putting in real world countries that they're mixing up with Tanya's country names. Probably because they can't put in the effort to actually remember the Tanya country names.
Well, keep in mind that it, as said earlier, in political record, they split up, and some of them did get names, mind you. But if he's making the Balkans into he's balkanized these things that are smaller. Of course, he's a creative hack and not going to actually name them like they should.
Mm. And at the end, she thinks that someone who's trying to become Kaiser, who's trying to get rid of democracy, is he's blessed. Someone called Walther von Schiele, who we have no idea
Obviously.
who that is. Which is going to lead her to becoming the monarchist Kaiser. Not accidentally, but because of her own actions and believing that she's going to be running against this blessed person. Of course.
Okay, so she accidentally runs intentionally. Wow, that's so accidental and so misunderstanding. Oh wow, that's so clever and interesting of a story. I'm so glad we can accidentally intentionally do things now.
Great. Anyway.
Yay.
Go somewhere else.
Yes.
I exited the story. I'm not reading.
Let us go anywhere that is not this fucking place.
Wow, this is
Oh, fifth story's out of heaven.
You know, yeah, right. That's how slow this section updates.
Yeah.
February 22nd, and there's been no other updates except for 4 other stories.
Yup, I told you, dude. It's all on QQ these days. It's all on Space Battle these days. That is where all of these Tanya stories are popping off on, and they're all dog shit.
May I request a re-spin of the wheel?
Yeah, you can. Let's just read the summaries until we get to Outer Heaven. That's just crazy though. Look how hard the story completely destroys the rest of these. Like Saint of Letzenborg or whatever the fuck it is. We got 80 chapters, 750,000 words. Only 500 favorites. Half the number of favorites of Young Girls Outer Heaven at half the chapters and like a quarter of the words.
Yeah, not even a half of the followers. 550 to 1,230.
I said favorites.
Yeah, but both as well. More people usually follow rather than favorite a fic.
Yeah, that's why I don't count follows. It's like the difference between someone watching a story and someone actually taking the time to thumbs up it.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like just completely blows these stories away.
Is the third one a fucking Fruit of Tanya fic?
Hold on, let's see here. War Games. When Thomas Miller, OC, steps out of office to get Burger, he never expected the consequences. Would be so dire. Sent to a new Earth with a gamer system.
Does anyone have a system then? Does anyone have a system in their bingo?
Not only does he get a gamer system, he goes after child Tanya.
I don't even have OC canon. Wait, I do have Author Bailey fetish. Does that count?
No.
This is not barely concealed.
Yeah. Fair.
It is in the summary.
Yeah, I don't have system. I don't have OC canon. I don't remember that.
I have barely fetish.
I posted it to Sign Server with a different tagline.
Oh no.
Oh.
Ghosting Cannon.
Let's see. Secondary education. What would our Tanya's life be like if she had something extra, like more education? What if the education wasn't standard education? Okay, so, yeah, romance supernatural featuring Tanya, Visha, and for some reason Victoria, and then OC. Yeah, I think this is Tanya with a dick. I think this is a Tanya with a dick story.
Oh, fucking fuck you.
But anyway, it's the Saint of Lens. Let's see what this story is that the fucking sign absolutely mogs, I believe is the term. The 203rd is tasked with rescuing the young relative of the Emperor. Okay, so kill a kill. Unfortunately for Tanya, he's a maniac hell-bent on getting himself killed. But she seems to be the only one that realizes it. Clearly, being X has something to do with this. Yeah, I can see why no one likes the story. I mean, like, this guy has been publishing for 6 years now. 100k word, like 130k words every single year for the past 6 years, and he still only has 500 favorites?
Yikes.
Yeah, that's not good, man. That's not good. Is Wilhelm going to die in a U-boat or something? Lamel.
Well, from what I've seen, Chapter 78, apparently Mary does kill a side character. So the characters
Oh wow, we killed a side character.
Yeah, which I'm guessing is an OC.
Because of course they wouldn't actually kill anyone that
Oh
mattered.
my god. This was a great chapter, but I have one issue. Mary Sue got the plot armor. It felt too forced by literally being a Mary Sue.
No.
You can't be that stupid. You can't be that stupid. Mankind cannot be this.
Mankind is that stupid.
We must find this being before the denseness of their mind creates a black hole and wait, actually hang on, maybe we should let them keep going.
Yeah, true. Black hole 2028.
2028? Brother, I'm not waiting that fucking long. 2026.
After reading your entire story, I feel... Wait, no, don't tell me this is done. Is this completed? No, it's not completed. Okay, thank God. Cool.
No.
I was about to say.
Posted.
I can finally leave a review of this story. I like it very much. You do great job, create wonderful character. Willie, he is a rat of a human being. Okay. Also, Mary is so insufferably annoying, you might have made her even worse than the light novel version of her. The Letzenborgers are the actual war maniacs. Tanya thinks of everyone, and the world thinks of the Empire. I love how they're so hyper-focused on the Saint.
It seems like this person's posting a chapter every 2 to 3 months.
Every 2 to 3 months, and they're nearly... So
This
it's
is
like a
their
nearly...
story.
It's a nearly 10k word chapter every 2 to 3 months. I mean, that's not bad. I feel like...
Young political record in the favorite stories, of course.
Yeah.
And then
Let's see, before we
16
leave this section,
topics.
let us see, sort by favorites, where... Wow, look at that, number 5!
Exactly where he is on the
Alright.
update front page.
Yeah, so now we just have to beat this absolute dog shit of a story. That's only winning by being one of the first ones posted.
In 2017.
I
Not
don't
for a
think
year.
we're ever gonna beat Political Record or Leader, but I think we
Delinquency
have a
Record, you
decent, huh?
Could do Delinquency Record. You could beat that potentially.
Yeah, I think Delinquency Record is within the realms of beatable, especially
And I
because he
feel-
stopped updating it.
No, there's only 11 Star Wars, so I'm gonna go Yojo Senki and go all crossovers and see if Star Wars is possibly on that front page on favorites.
I mean, does he even post his Oh, he does. What's
Tanya
that?
the
What's that looking like?
Firebender.
Oh wow, this is really popular in the Star
Oh,
Wars
oh.
section. Holy shit! Wandering Prince is popular.
Really? Oh, yeah. it's on the
Nearly
front page.
3,000 favorites.
Fuck.
Oh.
I love how much it blows all of his
Alright.
other stories out of the water.
Young Girl Between the Stars is the 14th most popular total crossover for Tanya.
Oh,
Damn, for Star Wars. Oh, for Tanya.
Yeah, for Tanya total, just all crossovers.
Damn, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's see what Wandering Prince is at. Let's see here. So let's sort by all English.
it's amazing what happens when we force Sign to keep it in his pants.
I know, right? It's crazy. Wow, Burn the World Down. Good job, Infanticus. Number 4.
Nice. Embers number 1. I got like 40 chapters into that and then dropped it.
Yeah, I also dropped Embers. Another brother. Hurt
Zuko
Comfort.
taking
Oh,
to the
female story. Yeah,
wheelchair.
no, that makes sense. Yeah. Morality
I
Chain.
remember Morality Rain. I read that. I remember reading that where fucking Azula and Zuko get together. I was like, oh.
Oh.
Because I thought it was just like a family thing, but no,
Yeah,
they
it
do
wasn't.
it
Yeah,
as
no.
a
Yeah.
family friendship. And then
Yeah.
they killed a dragon and then got together after taking the eggs to raise for themselves.
Yeah. Reluctant Hero. Okay, Distorted Reality. Heartburns for you. Honestly, I've never read any of these stories. It's crazy.
I see Jordinio.
Oh,
Blazing
hey, Jordino! Yeah, I read Blazing
There
Fist.
it
That
is.
one was
Fist.
funny.
He is on the front. He is on the front page, but he's close to the bottom. Only 4 stories he beats.
But he is on the front page,
Oh.
which is
And he's
pretty
almost
good.
beating. And the 2 above him is only 10 between, like 20 between each other, and he's
Yep.
only 60 or so off from them. So
That's
he could
pretty
beat-
crazy.
From the top one. He's 100 faves from the next one after that, and then after that they're all very close together until he's about 200 favorites off of 200-300 favorites off from Jordino's.
And that's
Have
crazy
we-
because fucking Zuko is
Have we
not
linked
even
Wandering
done.
Prince?
No, I don't think we
I'm
have.
trying to find it in fanfiction, but
I don't think we've ever linked it.
oh, it's only like because I at this point there's enough now, and I'm like, damn, I finally need something to read.
Sure.
I gotcha.
Oh, there you go.
Done.
If you haven't read Infanticus's story, that one's funny too. So I'll link
That
that.
I have.
Oh, okay.
And Wandering Prince is 4 behind QQ, so on FFN.
I mean, it's crazy though, right? That like Wandering Prince is so far ahead when it's barely
sex
even
scenes.
got. Well, no, it's about to.
3 chapters on FFN.
Yeah. But the honestly, I think
Oh,
that again, this is another issue with Sign. He's got such bad advertising for his stories.
Mhm.
Like Wandering Prince's summary is Avatar: The Last Airbender story.
Zuko self
Which,
insert. As Zuko self
duh.
insert quits the Fire Nation and decides to wander around the world instead. Oh, the Wandering Prince. Disregard political power, acquire spiritualism. Part of the catalog of companion
Like,
knockoff challenge.
If he
That's not a
just
summary.
if he just posted this part, disregard political power, acquire spiritualism, and made that just the summary, I think he would have had more clicks.
Probably.
Because all of these little bits here make someone cringe. Part of a knockoff challenge. Cringe. Zuko SI. Cringe. Zuko SI leaves the Fire Nation, travels the world instead. No shit. Cringe. Telling everyone it's an Avatar story. No shit, you're in the Avatar section. Cringe. I make fun of people that do that all the fucking time. Oh, this is a Naruto story? No shit, you don't say.
I'm pretty sure Legend of Korra has its own section as well, so you don't.
I don't think it does.
No, they're together.
I'm pretty sure they're together. Yeah, aren't they?
I'll check. Cartoons.
Cartoon movie. Oh wait, no, it might actually have a separate section.
Avatar
Question,
Last Airbender. Do I have to
Is
look
this
at
the
that
same exact summary that he's using elsewhere?
You're probably looking for Legend of Korra, not Avatar Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Legend of Korra. Yep, 15.4. It's different.
Well, there we go.
So there's no reason. There's no reason to have Avatar Last Airbender in there. There is actually no reason to have that in his summary.
That's crazy. That's just fucking crazy.
Did he copy paste this summary from wherever else he's doing it?
Yeah, he probably
I'm
did.
pretty sure he posted this in Camp Gruff and then he just made that his summary.
Yeah, he does that. Like I said, his summaries, like the summary. Did he ever sign real?
There's a reason I leave all my summaries to Sneaky.
I helped with Between the Stars. I gave him the Outer Heaven one. Yeah, his summaries are just so fucking bad.
Listen, Sneaky. There's only so much you can do, brother.
I know. His summaries are just so fucking bad.
Have you seen Conjunction Summary? Holy shit.
No way. No way. I can't believe Sign isn't here for us to dunk on him. A Sailor Moon Ranma 1/2 crossover. No shit. Ranma is betrayed by a cane and manages to break from Nerima and its craziness. Hotaru is a student with a new teacher. Q, dance, don't stand so close to me by the police. Oh my god, Sign. You're such a fucking boomer.
At least Mr. Saturday Night Special, the fucking Dick Master with dick powers, sex powers, and worm has a semi-proper summary.
Yeah. Deal with Devil is a semi-proper summary.
Uninspired. Mass Effect plus Inspired Inventor years before ME1. That's it.
I mean, hey, that's a decent summary for what it is.
Essentially Konosuba. Konosuba with an OC insert with Essence Chiyola-based powers.
To be fair, there ain't much else to say on that one either.
My Hero Academia alt power. TLDR, Deku as an incubus.
I mean, again, I don't give a shit enough. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, here's the problem, right? Is with, like, Tanya Outer Heaven, there's, like, shit going on. Like, all of the stories you just read are Sign writes with his dick stories, and so it is what it says on the tin. Late bloomer. It's just Izuku having sex because incubus. Uninspired. Literally, it's just him having sex with uninspired inventor. Saturday Night Special, I mean, you got a kind of a little bit of a summary there. A Deal with the Devil, that one's actually kind of decent. But yeah, I mean, fucking listen to this song. Here's the link to the song you're supposed to listen to when you read this. Like, come on, Sign. Sign.
Look at this photograph. If we still had a music video on the bingo, would that count towards it from
Yeah, that would count. Yeah. Fucking Sign. Oh my god, he's such a goddamn boomer.
I am Iron Man. Iron Man MCU with a signed self-insert. For laughs, not for cereals.
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking @ Sign over this.
Predatory, a worm venom prototype fusion, self-insert. Lewds, murder, and more lewds ensue. Warning, politically insensitive content, graphic content.
Belief has passed judgment.
At you, just so you know. You are so dog shit at summary. Sentenced to one match of League of Legends. True. Oh, Sign, you are so fucking dog shit at summaries. I mean, it's crazy. Like, what's his proudest story? Fucking JK? Is JK even on here? No, JK's not even on here.
No, because he puts less porn on that on
Yeah.
FFN.
I mean, I just think it's really fucking funny because it's just like all of his earlier stories are all just porn, and of course this one breaks 2K. Fucking Naruto, but it's slut ninjas.
Yeah.
Of course that one of all stories breaks the 2K barrier. But how fitting that Signal to Noise he uses Rio as the fucking story profile.
NSI, based on the Worm Chihuahua V3, wavelength with bad choices, a Worm SI, if reality ensues, and being in the Wormverse is suffering, we're played straight.
And to no
Why does he
surprise,
ever say it twice?
Because it's fucking Sign.
Oh.
Sign isn't done that.
God, Sign.
Or at 9:30.
Alright, let's spin the wheel. If the wheel would load. Alright, let's go! Spin the wheel!
It's weird that now that I'm hoping we get Ruby, we've never gotten Ruby for...
No! We're not doing Avatar! No! Spin the wheel faster!
It saw you peeking at Wandering Prince, apparently.
Yeah,
apparently. It knew what you were doing.
Soulsborne!
Oh,
This is gonna be bad.
where we look,
so
what
bad.
Soulsborne we looking into?
We're doing Elden Ring!
Oh,
no.
I thought so.
See?
Let's see what we got here. Hey, now, I want you to know we're doing Elden Ring. I want everyone to know we're doing Elden Ring for one specific reason. The reason is because Aura.
Oh.
Because Aura is obsessed with trying to fit the Tarnished into Nikke.
Yes.
So I'm
I thought
going
it
to
was
torture
funny.
him now with a bunch of dog shit Elden Ring stories.
I mean, I torture myself by peering into the crossover section, so...
I know.
Holy shit, is that John, Soldier of Godric there?
Oh my fucking god.
Is that John, Soldier of God?
No, it's Rick, Soldier of God.
He is John, Soldier of God!
Yeah. A crackfic addict's worse. Enjoy at your own risk.
My next D&D character is going to be John Crusader.
Oh, good lord.
Ugh.
Alright, so we got here. We got Tarnished Mage. The lands between are in disarray because of Elden Ring. Blah blah blah, reciting, blah blah blah, reciting, blah blah blah, reciting, blah blah blah, reciting. My OC shows up, and will I become another footnote? Okay, so bro literally just copied and pasted the opening.
Yeah. And then just will OC make it?
Oh. Oh, okay. All right, so we're just gonna smash D&D into this story. Okay.
No.
All right. So, it was a clear, sunny day in OC Empire. People were coming around, gathering at the OC Academy, where all of the OC students gathered at the OC Academy because today was graduation day of OCs. And none were excited as the students who were going to graduate in the graduation academy. Headmaster OC, a tall fire genasi, stood at the center of the stage, giving a grand speech to the OCs about the ending of their OC school. As he spoke, fire just flared off of him like embers in the wind. I wish I was fucking joking.
He's forgotten realms or whatever. OC, a tiefling, gets pulled into a fucking rift into.
Yeah.
It's got the opening for Elden Ring playing.
It's an unannounced crossover with music video.
That is cursed.
Oh, we don't even have music video on the bingo anymore.
What the fuck?
I don't even have a announced crossover. The only thing I've done is sign Ellen drinking.
Unlabeled crossover song.
Unlabeled crossover.
Was there a system? Or do we talk
Yeah, it was.
about it?
There was a system in a previous story.
Okay.
It was a previous story. It was a previous story where the gamer OC went after cute and funny Tanya.
Oh. Ew.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so we're fucking moving on. Fuck D&D character. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, you better be funny. You better be funny, Crack Story. You better be fucking funny. You need to make us laugh. In a good way. Not because of the pain. Waking up in the lands between was one thing, but finding out that I was the soldier of God, Rick, no less, and not John Elden Ring Tarnish? I haven't heard of the Tarnished app end, but John Elden Ring I've heard enough, so. Does that earn us uncomfy age gap?
We never went into it to actually find out how old the guy was.
True. It's still weird, but I won't say uncomfy age gap. Yeah. I mean, technically speaking, Tanya is an adult mentally, and so is he. So it's still weird. But I'm not going to call it uncomfy age gap. It's like, how to put this, right? I recognize that Tanya is very young in the story, but it's like that one... I mean, it's basically an e-whore. I'm just going to say e-whore. It's like that one e-whore on OnlyFans who specifically dressed up as child characters because she had a very young-looking body. And people paid her for her child cosplays.
So I went into it, Bravo 6 going dark. He's in our world and gets killed by a homeless veteran. And that's what and then he says he calls the veteran a communist for wanting over McDonald's because he dies because the veteran kills him for his McDonald's.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like I just lost brain cells listening to that.
Yeah, apparently a homeless veteran of war kills him over his McDonald's, and then he gets picked up not by being X, but by Ares, god of war. Because apparently Ares bestowed a blessing onto his family 1,000 years ago, and this guy died like a little bitch with a knife in his lung.
Okay.
Every member has set foot on the battlefield, every member is returned alive, not a single soul was lost to war. That is until you.
Okay.
He could have let slide that this character was a little bitch who didn't go to war, honoring the pact that they made 1,000 years ago. Then he died in battle to a homeless veteran.
What?
Which pissed off Ares. And now this guy is apparently lecturing Ares about the contract that they made 1,000 years ago, lecturing a god to his face.
I mean,
That's a bold move.
especially a Greek god. Okay, so he lectures.
Why is Ted from No Game No Life here? Ted stops Ares from giving him a proper Greek punishment.
Yeah.
They isekai, and then Tet offers Ares a game, so they isekai him, and Tet gives him a gamer system.
Okay. And where does the cute and funny relationship come from?
Human calls the gods aliens. That's funny, almost as funny as that other one calling him, in air quotes, being X. So they're basically going full on that being X is the actual biblical god. And then welcome to the game, and then he's isekai, and then he wakes up as a baby in the Tanya world at the end of chapter 1.
Okay,
and then
so it's
his ending
two...
his ending author's note is, I want to take a moment to thank my awesome patrons, and then literally puts the name of every single fucking patron at the end.
I mean, hey, if you want to make money off your story, gotta shill it. I mean, okay, so it's gonna be two isekai people who are both children, who are both previously adults, in a relationship with each other.
That's not awkward at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not uncomfy age gap, it's just weird.
Also, they were both men, and only Tanya was the only one who became a woman.
Well, I mean, you know. Alright, well, okay, so anyway, John Elden Ring. Disappointment on level. Waking up, screen told me player was downloading game and updating for DLC. I did not expect that to greet me. Okay, so he wakes up as the boss, and he gets told that the person who he's gonna be beat by is currently updating their game.
What?
So apparently he gets beat up by a streamer.
Alright, let's shake some rust off to see if I still got it. Might as well face the Soldier of Godric for old sake before I start my build for the DLC. The player's voice echoed through the game, signifying that the player was now playing the game. As I trudged into the arena where the enemy soldier was supposed to run out of, inside of being out in the open, I calmly walked into the middle of the battle arena and stabbed my greatsword into the ground, palmed the palmer. Why is he already out here? Player reached the boss frog, blah blah blah, experiences, blah, I'm having more fun with this than I should. Boss frog, hero starter, good choice, may he bonk the game into oblivion, blah blah blah, strength, magic brews, not bad, players respect.
It's not a good fic, but I'll give you this. He outright said it was a shitty crack fic. He never wanted us to expect something serious going to this.
You have my head down, hail-worthy challenger. Soldier of Godric, Sir Bernard William will show test to have at the. Why the hell they go so hard for a cutscene of a tutorial boss? So he forced a cutscene? I mean,
essentially. By breaking the AI, yes. By being somewhere where he shouldn't have been. And making it
okay.
compose.
I open my eyes to find myself next to Grace, blah blah blah, surroundings. The fight between me and the player was one-sided in the player's favor. I did my best to swing my greatsword, but he was really good.
His parries and rolls were on point.
Blah 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 blah. I guess I was destined for more. My death did not mean the end of me. The man took notice of me, seemed hesitant. I was himself, blah blah blah. He's gonna try and get the halberd, perhaps, out of confidence. Come on, then. Wait, what the? The barbarian-looking class getting killed by the boss before the players disappear. Blah blah blah. Attention, pull back nearby Grace. Player's character looks up. Blah blah blah. Plant my greatsword once more. Palm in the pommel. Blah blah blah. What the hell's from soft cooking chat? Chat, are you seeing this? Fuck if I know, player, don't aggro me. Walk up to him and talk. I mean, he isn't aggroing me. The player's character walked up and talked before the word talk appeared before me. The button for the action was pressed, signifying the player wanted to talk to me.
Useless, unoriginal piece of shit.
Hail, good sir. That fight you gave me was remarkable, truly worthy of it being titled as tarnished such as you. Gentleman's duel. My name is Sir Bernard William. I guess they added a side quest if you did the tutorial, chat. Glad I went in, chat. Oh shit, chat. We got this, dude. Fucking poggers, man.
Is that actual lines in the fic?
Yes.
I'm dying inside. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But he
and
also
I'm fucking
like,
then the author says I'm fucking dying of cringe after hearing that.
to be fair, that's how I feel about a lot of streamers. No, that's just the author pretending having the thought as the soldier of Godric. So this streamer or whatever is just some weird streamer they've made up to be a narrator and to push this crack fic forward.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean it's a thing. I'm not sure where you're gonna go with it.
I'll give it a pass because it's just he's literally said crack fic at its worst. He's obviously just doing this just to be amused, not to be serious.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna shit on him over it. I mean, it is what it is, you know. It's a crack fic. He recognizes the crack fic. He's going all in on the crackness of the fic. It is what it is.
And he actually does have serious fics.
Oh,
his first fic was a fucking self-insert into Kids Next Door, codename Kids Next Door.
That's a serious fic?
Apparently.
What? Apparently,
that was his very first fanfic made prior to his other fics. He was posted on Space Battles, and now he cross-posted it to here.
That's a choice.
Living my life as Kid Boo in a DC world. Just trying to have fun with this idea. Tanya in codename Kid Next Door.
Bro doesn't know. 2024 update. Will all of you artists stop DMing me about purchasing art from you for my stories?
Bro doesn't know what a bot is.
Bro has no pattern recognition. Man, all these artists are using the exact same.
No, truly, there must be thousands of women that are.
Alright, so never mind, he has no actual, like, serious stories. They're all for, like, amusement. Probably to just pass time for himself.
Hey, look, I can admire that. You know, I can admire that.
Kind of, maybe?
Never mind, Neon Zengetsu isn't his favorite authors, his opinion's irrelevant.
True.
Fuck him.
Perish.
Opinions disregarded.
Yep.
Opinion deleted. Neon Zangetsu enjoyer. Delete this man.
revoke his privileges.
I mean, I say that as someone probably with a Neon Zangetsu story in my favorite section, but I mean, I have over 1,000 stories favorited, and back in the day, he was like the only Naruto crossover writer I could stand.
Honestly, as long as you're not favoriting any of his recent shit, it's like, we won't.
Yeah, I mean, all of the stories I've favorited have like died years ago, so
Yeah.
more than years ago, like a decade ago.
Yeah, like
There is
old Neon
only-
Zangetsu is a lot more acceptable than newer Neon.
There is only one story of his that I would call that was not an old story that I followed, not favorited, and that's because I had just watched Arcane and wanted more fucking Jinx shit, and there was no one writing it except for fucking him.
To be fair, Jinx is a great character. Also
Yeah.
fair, no one can fucking write Jinx.
Yeah, the only person writing even an Arcane fic was Neon Zangetsu with 5 of them, and I only read one that involved Jinx.
Of course he wrote 5 of them. Why? Of fucking course he wrote 5 of them. Oh god. I mean, it's like him in Elden Ring, where he's got like 19 Elden Ring stories, and it's all just Naruto gets a harem but starts with a different woman.
I don't even know if he does that in all of them. He does like a lot of random ass ideas, like one where Naruto.
No, literally Elden Ring. We've been over this before.
He inserted Naruto into all the demigods except for the female ones, all the male demigods.
Oh good lord! I know he did like himself as like a misbegotten or whatever omen child thing, but I didn't know.
That was Naruto. That was Naruto as well.
Yeah, I know that was a Naruto fic. I didn't know he did a harem in that one.
He did. Yeah, no, he did one as an Omen child. He did one as Moog. He did one as Margit. He did one as Radahn and Rykard. He did one as Mikola.
And they're all supposedly Naruto.
I must have not I must have not picked that up on the summaries because I'm like, what the fuck? When did he become the demigods?
Yeah. Yeah, and then he did and then before all that, he did just a Naruto in Elden Ring, which is where he had one good scene of where someone accidentally fucked up during the Radahn festival and killed Leonard before Radahn died. And then everyone was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That is,
which is also the only reason. Which is also the only reason we can beat Radahn in the DLC is because there's no Leonard for him to protect. He's got no reason to fight harder. There's no Leonard. Oh right, I forgot he also did Naruto as Godric. And Godwyn. Never mind. Even though we know nothing about Godwyn. I'm looking through now. One where he becomes Queen Marika's consort because he just shows up in the land between during pre-shattering. God, these are bad.
Yeah, they're so bad.
God, I remember seeing like all those fics across like just the crossover section, and I just thought they were just garbage, dumb Naruto ideas focused on like some level of theme. I didn't know now he was possessing the demigods. I never actually read them.
He's reborn as them.
Yeah, it's not possessing.
Or whatever.
He is them.
Who cares? It's still fucking
shit.
useless.
Yeah.
It's still shit, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Neon Zangetsu, modern Neon is dog shit.
Even past Neon was...
Yeah, we need classic Vegas Neon.
True.
Old Neon, I remember just being okay junk food slop.
Well, the thing is, he now posts more stories. They're just worse. In the past, you got like 2 chapters before he started a new fic and forgot that the one that you were slightly interested in. So he was still bad, just in a different way.
Yeah, true.
Well, older Neon stories were more like all of the ideas that you wish someone would make a fic out of. And as Kaz said, it would get like 6 chapters in and die. But you at least got an idea of like, oh yeah, that kind of would make a good story.
Yeah.
And then Ruby released, and he started crossing Naruto into Ruby, and that's where I think he started downhill.
Yeah, nah, yeah. Ruby was the death of him. Like it like rotted his brain.
Oh my god, he had a pure Mass Effect fic. He had no Naruto in it.
Are you
Holy
sure?
Shit. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Scientist Solarian?
Okay.
He's got Naruto Mass Effect, Bring Down the Sky, yeah. But he also has a 1 chapter, 711 word fic. Oh god, I didn't actually see how long it was. Complete.
Yeah, that explains it. Yeah, it wasn't a Naruto story, so therefore no words. Word budget exceeded.
Anyway, are we done for the night?
Yeah.
Unless you have a pressing desire to continue reading slop.
To chase the moon! Owain is Lord Commander of the Tree Sentinels, awakes to find the world is different from his first life. That's right, he's been isekai'd.
No, he was isekai'd before the Shattering, got together with Rani, and now he's been woken up 1,000 years during canon.
Shut up.
And his beloved is trapped in the body of a doll. Will he be able to restore everything he had lost? Oh, well, I mean, fucking a sex doll is pretty much all you ever did anyway, so... Hey-o!
Full summary within. Wait, full summary within.
Wait,
Would that be summary
Full
inside
summary
for anyone?
inside! That is indeed summary inside. That is a rare summary inside W.
Does anyone have bingo off that? Because I'm fucked. I've only got 3 things.
I got a Big Dipper, so no.
I've got a triangle. I've got drinking, summary inside, 2 to the left of that, and then 2 down, 1 to the left, sign out. That's it. That's all I've had this stream.
Let's see. Twin Saga 3 Twin Grace. What do you mean, Twin Saga 3? What do you mean you've made 3 of these? What do you mean it's 400,000 words?
Twin Saga 2 is in Dark Souls 3, and Twin Saga 1 is in Dark Souls 1. They skipped Dark Souls 2.
Based.
No. I don't care if you don't like Dark Souls 2. I feel like you've got to at least play it once. You can't just skip it.
Yeah, you can.
Just be a hater for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I don't see a reason why you would, but I guess you could.
In Dark Souls, game is adventure alone. In this story, I seek to explore how dynamic of Lordran changes when a pair of siblings are chosen. My characters are Flynn and Risha, and they journey Lordran together. Completed. Took 1 year.
Yep.
32 chapters, 250k words. I mean, it's a dead fucking story. I mean, that's 122 favorites. I think we got more than that on ours.
The next one, Dark Souls 3, has 83 favorites at 306,000 words.
Goddamn.
41 chapters. Like, the summary doesn't sound too bad, but it just sounds like a dog shit fucking idea.
It's been aeons since the two went across Lordran. During their slumber, everything changed. They woke up to new reality. They failed to link the flame. Now the fire trembles with the last vestiges of light, and they have to go link the flame again. Again, 1 year, 300k words. Alright, fair enough. Twin Saga 3 Twin Grace. Flynn and Russia wake up again into unfamiliar place with unfamiliar rules. Lands between seems pleasant at first, but the twins have experienced a world on the brink of collapse before. They know not to trust anyone. With no goal in mind and no end in sight, will they be able to weather the challenges of the lands in between? So this one's taking 3 years instead of 1 year, yeah. We're at almost 360.
This guy is early 20s, finished college, I think. And that's why it's taking him 3 years, because he's actually got a job now. And has less time to write.
Joined
So he's
2016.
probably-
Yeah.
I think he's about 24, 25 now.
Well, hold on. Let's see. In 2016. So that puts him around. Let's see. Let's say 14 years old. 2002. 23 years old. Yeah, junior, senior in college, and getting a job probably.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Only 15 reviews for for Twin Graces 3.
I'm not surprised. It's like it's the Elden Ring section.
If you're gonna insist on us continuing to look at slop, what's in the Lord of the Rings section?
Wait.
Question.
Chapter 16. How do they die to that? They are leveled in their 50s.
Who cares?
I gotta find what they died to. I'm interested now.
It better be a gelatinous.
Dungeons and Dragons, Fall of Imperia. 6 people band together because they really hate elves. And they kill elves as payback because of elves being elves. They fail in their last raid, leaving the world afraid of them. The world bands together to form a super city, Imperia, bent on defeating these 6 evil people who kill elves, leaving them no choice but to fight back.
Sneaky, can you link this and tag Nose and ask him if he wrote this? Because I mean, really.
That's just Critical Role, maybe?
What the fuck do you need me for?
Some dude's over here writing about how much he fucking hates elves. So we were wondering if it was you.
Dowie from another hole. What?
Alright. So they died to the carrier mana magic fucking missiles that shoot down at you when you get near the front door.
I mean, everyone dies to them once.
Yeah. So it's not even an enemy, apparently. Fall of Imperial.
DM campaign. My players enjoyed it, so I wanted to retell this story. Okay.
This is his DM campaign put into a fic and posted.
Yeah.
I'm
A
sorry,
speedrunner's guide to getting a harem. When Jack Speedrunner took a no-name streamer challenge to speedrun the game faster than they did, the last thing he expected was to end up in Elden Ring as John Tarnished, with Queen Marika as his system admin for the gamer system to boot.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna just go play Balatro. You have fun.
Goodbye, chat. Oh, God. Well, since he was here already, he might as well just become the Elden Lord and start fixing up the lands in between. Tarnish times Marika times Ronnie times Melina. Okay.
Well.
Alright, buddy.
I don't even have harem on my fucking bingo, so I can't even put that off. God, my bingo's got fucking nothing.
I know. Mercurial Soul, that's right! It's what everyone wanted! It's the Elden Ring Mimic Tier Self-Insert Story! Story of
posted on
what
QQ.
happens when you stick self-insert in wrong place as mimic tier and leave them with access to a concerning amount of assets in their vicinity. Okay. Alright, let's see how dog shit this is.
It's posted on QQ. It's dog shit.
What do you mean? It's posted on QQ?
I'm pretty sure I saw that posted on QQ. Because I
Mimic
saw an
tiers
Elden
or
Ring
blah blah blah, weapons, equipment, technology, mimic tier, pinnacle of technology. Nox wanted to create life, the Albanurics, well, a mimic true life, blah 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 blah. Obvious reason it failed, further they couldn't figure out the kinks of the human brain. Defective, Albanurics are paralyzed from the hips down. Albanurics ended up marrying each other, and second generation came to be. Evolution, the crucible, was powerful force in the world. Suffering creature inherently born, weak, blah blah blah, mutated, blah. Second generation were able to walk, but their bodies were warped, blah blah blah. Things were not going in the direction they liked. Project scrapped, they didn't stop trying.
There's
They
random AN in
culminated.
this fic.
There's what?
Random AN. I forgot about that.
Great.
It's all
Promptly
according to
sacrificed, desecrate. They created a god, killed a god, to create a god killing weapon. Okay. The Finger Slayer blade resembled sacred relic based, blah blah blah, implications, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, Elden Beast, blatant blasphemy, falling star, blah blah blah. Oh, here we go. Until Illyria got her hands on it. Indeed, the countermeasures the Nox employed to keep it safe were extensive, but they did not account for a lowly mimic tier to suddenly gain sentience and go grab it. The other mimic tiers, while impressively programmed, were clearly not all that aware of things, or if they were spiteful enough of their creators to willfully ignore one of their own absconding with the treasure. Of course, there were some who were self-aware and intelligent enough to know what she had done, but those ones were also smart enough to keep their heads down and not get caught up in whatever calamity she was cooking up under their master's nose. Sure, yeah, sure, whatever. Just semi-sentient mimic tears just floating about. Yeah, sure. Illyria slowly crept up on a silver blob of living metal, vacuous, unaware. She'd been tracking her quarry, designated Larry. Blah blah blah, lure him out, molded her body mass, speed and force, blah blah blah, impaled Larry on a mass of metal, fusing her metal into his metal until they were metal all together, and then usurping his sentience. Just like
Together,
that,
you
she
say?
doubled her. Yes, together.
Quick, somebody get the weird snake man.
Indeed. Doubling her mass, the two masses of liquid metal pulled together into a larger blob, silver mass, blah blah blah, many sealed abandoned structures, blah blah blah. Relaxing her form onto the cool metal anvil, sighing, she just gorged the loot she had liberated, blah blah blah, 3 silver tear husks, blah blah blah, runes, gravel stone. Blah blah blah, somber smithing stone, blah blah blah. She split her body in half, keeping a single cord connecting the two. Reshaped itself into a human, the other into a thick rod of solid metal. Transformed her right hand into that of a hammer, placed a smithing stone and slab on top of the anvil. Brought it down with all her force. Pain exploded, but she did not stop. With skill and experience born of 1,000 failed attempts, she hammered down the spot again. Pain, but underneath it all, a slow sensation of power, of strength and resilience being infused into her being began to spread. Okay, so she's symbolically hammering the somber smithing stone into herself. To absorb its powers. I mean, fuck it, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Mind-numbing pain, she persevered, and slowly infusing the smithing stone into her essence, blah blah blah, smithing stone was gone, and the half of her that was within the rod was far more potent than the rest of her. The newly infused metal shined with a soft inner light. Moved her consciousness to the improved half, taking with her all her accumulated runes, and cutting her connection to the rest, leaving it to splash uselessly on the floor while she rose, improved in every sense of the term. Wait. So why? So she hammered the somber smithing stone into herself, but it only infused into half of herself because reasons. So instead of reabsorbing the other half of herself, she discards it because reasons. After transferring her consciousness into herself from herself. Sure. Yeah, okay. Sure. Everything about herself was now improved, by orders of magnitude, where she partially transformed her body into a simulacrum. The control she had over her form was now immense. She used herself to mold herself into something that was indistinguishable from human, if not for the silvery veneer. Not enough to manipulate color, but I finally have hands, baby. It was all going according to cake. Author's note. Cake means kakaku. Kakaku means plan.
Oh, good lord.
Fucking.
Yep. That's random author's note. I finally have another square on my bingo. Did we get sent to swearing or trigger warning? Because then I've got a bingo somehow.
No, but what you can do is put down fucking this gamey cancer.
This gave you cancer, and I don't have it.
Cause this is so fucking stupid. Like, this is just...
Told you it was bad.
Oh my god. Yeah, oh, she created Wolverine claws. Okay, Savage Brand. Unstoppable killing machine, blah blah blah. Pain, blah blah blah.
Oh. If we had
Finger
randomly
slang blade.
abusive and flashbang by words, Aura would have a bingo.
True. Either way, what we're gonna have though is damn, first chapter unfortunately got to the point. All right, well, I think we're done because that's just I am just Christ, that's just bad.
Yep.
It is. Oh my god, if we got gems for eyes, Grey would have had a fucking bingo.
Hilarious.
Amazing.
All right, well, everyone, come back on Tuesday because there's always more and it always gets worse. Let's go!